about to turn it on. Turn it. We about to turn it on. Turn it. We about to turn it on. 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 We about to turn it on. Go, 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 go. We about to turn it on. Turn it on. We about to turn it on.
I'm not muted. Sorry, my bad. Hi.
Hi.
Hiya.
First thing I said is behave yourselves, and I'm like, wait, Bunny didn't get smart with me by saying that. And then I realized, oh, I'm muted. There we go. Listen, I want to let everybody know we ran late, with the exception of Rynnie. Rynnie, I just realized you don't have one of those. I thought you had that picture in your profile. The picture from what Tomato made us.
Oh, it does. I don't know why it's not popping up. Yeah.
I can change it on my actual thing.
Oh, because it's not popping up on the stream. It's popping up as your old one, the banana.
Yeah.
Oh. That's weird. Why is it doing that?
Hold up. Let me leave and come back. Oh.
Fine, bitch. Please come back.
Okay. What about now? Or is it still?
Yeah, it's still showing the banana on screen. That's really weird. Well, anyway, I come into the Discord, right? And all three of these women had pictures from the picture tomato, which we're going to show you. Picture that tomato drew, and I was like, I'm not going on stream and not be the only one that is not part of the game. So we were late because I had to
It
crop.
just changed. It just changed.
There we
There
go.
Yeah, it just changed. We were late because I had to take the time to go get that picture, crop my face out, and put it on my Discord.
Priorities.
Okay? So I just want to say it's their fault because they made me feel bad.
Yeah.
So
It's so cute.
Ew.
Though.
they are cute. Okay, before we get to that, how's everybody doing in the chat? How's everybody doing? Everybody doing good? Badwick fell asleep playing Skyrim.
Whoops.
How do you fall asleep playing a Skyrim? I don't understand.
I don't know how
Skyrim.
people fall asleep playing a game.
I
full
don't
stop.
either.
Like, yeah.
You're not a real gamer.
Yeah.
And I tend to do that.
What?
Well, that's because you get no sleep and your body just says "fuck you" and falls asleep.
Yeah.
True. You're not wrong.
I can't fall asleep sitting up, so there's no way I can do that. So yeah.
All right. I want to show this real quick. This is like a last minute thing, but of course we all just found out. I want to throw an RIP towards Crypt Daddy. Ricky Burke tweeted out, "This hits hard. You were fucking crazy at times, but I love every Twitter war," which they did have Twitter wars. I remember when they went on Tommy stream. Twitter war / beef we had together or against. LOL. Rest in peace. And Crypt Daddy passed away. And he was, I met him doing Fireball, and he was so, and I remember me and my partner, we voted them out, him and Jessex. They were, Jessex were partners, and me and, what's her name? Oh my God, I can't think of her name right now. Thoughts and Opinions. We voted her and Crypt Daddy out, but he was so sweet. He was a really nice guy.
He really was the sweetest guy. I was going through our DMs. Like, I didn't even realize how many DMs I had with him. I thought we'd only spoke a few times, but we'd actually joked around a lot, and he was always so sweet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. They put up a GoFundMe to help with the expenses for cremation, and I am happy to announce that they went over the goal.
Wow.
Already.
They were actually, I would say, within an hour of seeing that tweet, which the tweet was put up 2 hours ago. So pretty much right after it, they had already reached 10K at that point.
That's amazing.
That is awesome.
Yep.
Tell you what, death is ableist, and this proves it.
True. True. Fuck ableism.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to mention that real quick because, you know, he was, a lot of people really liked him and looked up to him. And for the simple fact that what life dealt him, he could have not done what he did, you know?
He did so much.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
accomplished so much.
Mm-hmm. Yep, exactly. Exactly. So I wanted to say something about that. So we had people get our merch in. And here's Reese with the hat. Look how cute the hat looks.
Yes, let's go. I'm so excited.
Look how cute the hat
Aw.
looks.
I love this.
So cute.
It actually looks better in picture than it does on the website.
Yeah.
Honest. And then there's D-Max wearing the broadcast
Hey.
hoodie.
He's such a cutie. Look at his little face.
Yes.
Don't call
Also,
him cute. His head will get big. What are you
The
doing?
hoodie looks so soft too.
It does look soft.
Well, I can tell you because I have a Commentary 2 hoodie. Well, no, it's not a hoodie. It's a sweatshirt. But the sweatshirt, I got the one without the hood. Okay, it's actually really super comfortable, and it's from it's from Spring where we get ours from. So I can tell you,
right.
they do feel good. So
Good.
Ooh, okay.
I'm
So-
excited to get mine now.
I am too.
Same.
Well, I haven't ordered mine yet. I think Daddy YouTube paid us today, so I haven't
Ooh.
looked yet.
Ooh.
All right. That's the
This is
picture Tomato made.
adorable.
Isn't that
It's the
cute?
cutest thing. Yes. So good.
It's my phone background now. It's so cute.
Is it really? I just
Mhm.
want to know. Okay, Top Tomato must really pay attention to me because I said this. I said this at 5:00 in the morning when me and Leon couldn't sleep, and we just fired up a live stream at 5:00 in the morning. You know, random. Tomato knows how to capture the essence of my grumpiness.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like everybody's like, "Oh my God, that is Xylie. That is 100%
Yeah, that's
Xylie." I just like how I get carried and about to be dunked into the coffee or the tea. Excuse me. Everybody else gets to wait around. You know, Mystic's having fun. Rynnie gets to fly. No, I'm getting dunked into the tea. You know, I think Top Tomato is trying to drown me. Top Tomato is trying to kill me.
Not
Just
only
saying.
that attention, I was gonna say that the attention to detail as well, though. Like she's captured your like off-brand Uggs and the grey hoodie.
Yeah.
Oh
And
my gosh,
like,
I didn't
all-
even notice the Uggs.
Yeah,
That's so
yeah.
Yeah,
cute.
I also love that like the mug is one of our merch items too.
Yeah.
I
And
love
do you know
it.
what? I don't even know how Top Tomato knew this, but I actually wear a choker like every single day like that. That's like insane to me that she like put that on there. Like like no one knows about this.
Yeah,
I
like,
got
So,
two
like,
things: the overalls and the green eyes. When people draw me, they always do blue eyes, but my eyes are green.
yeah,
Yeah.
and like for me, she got like my facial markings correctly, and then she gave me this outfit, which I would actually wear that in real life. So I love sweater dresses.
I love them too. You
All
really
I'm
did a
going to
really
say
good
is
job,
check your
Tomato.
windows, check your doors. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, she's in your walls. She's in your walls.
Tomatoes in the walls. But no, it's really cute. And I love this. This was adorable. This was really super cute. I love it. Good job, Top Tomato. Good
Yeah,
job.
well done.
Yes.
Although every time she's in my chat, she's trying to overthrow the government in my chat. Well, she's trying to overthrow the Xyliarchy going on. So, ugh.
Be forming unions in there.
They sure do. Okay. So tonight, what we are going to do. Okay, so we're going to briefly go over the swoop video in the sense of we have a couple, well, not a couple, we have several clips that we're going to hit, and then we're going to go to Johnny's response to it because he's an idiot. And then we're going to react to Adam McIntyre's video, Swoop/Johnny. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. Eva, go ahead and take the lead on that as far as that, so I'll know when to click it. You know what I'm saying? Like when to click up the things. So, because I've already have them set up, I'm just ready to play. So
yeah, sweet. So first of all, I think we're just going to go quickly over the intro because the intro has a really good sort of overall about what's happening. So like it goes over like how there was like who they are and what's going on and like
so you
how
want
they
me to play
did
the intro too?
video.
Okay, I didn't know that.
No,
Hold on.
just from that. Actually, no, just from that clip. Like I think it's within the intro. Sorry, guys, I'm like just waking up, so I'm coming to terms with reality at the moment.
Are you
So,
talking about the first
I
one?
apologize.
The first
Yeah,
one where
this
it
is the
says
first-
Johnny?
Yeah, the
Okay,
first
yeah.
one.
That's in the second part. That's why I was
Sorry, in the
confused.
second part.
Yeah,
That's
okay.
right. We didn't do the intro part because I think it's kind of
Yeah.
calculated all in there. Yep.
All right.
Yeah.
It's okay. Hold on. Play it at 1844. All right. And here we go.
You probably guessed that this is going to be a slight departure as far as my normal documentaries go. There won't be any Petty University segments today, my apologies.
I'm
but
so glad
I'm going
she
to
didn't do
discuss
that.
in full transparency
Yeah.
the moral conundrum this part of the story has put me in.
Yeah, Johnny being full of shit. Okay, sorry. I'm still reeling over my live stream a couple hours ago. My bad.
Information I am about to share in no way diminishes the very real, valid, heartbreaking stories that Adam, Becky, Alex, Oliver, Ella, and others have shared. Not only have they provided a level of transparency that I am in awe of, but their stories have been consistent and verified. What I have to share today further highlights how resilient Adam, Becky, Alex, Oliver, and Ella have been, and underscores the need to continue to focus the attention on them and not be swayed by those who seek to manipulate the truth. What I'm about to say, I take very seriously. From what my team and I have discovered, we have found that Johnny Silvestri has lied to me, appears to have falsified evidence, withheld information from all of you that changes the context of what he has alleged, and has participated in profoundly disturbing and inappropriate group chats with minors, contents of which shook me to my core.
In other words, he was projecting. He was projecting.
Like anything I've covered on my platform. I'm talking about group chats that involved alcohol, SEL discussions, and legitimate grooming. It is our belief that we may be on the verge of uncovering a dark underground grooming ring, and Johnny, allegedly, was a part of this, all while lying about his level of participation. He has also downloaded Trisha Paytas's nude photos as an adult, unprovoked, and sent them in text as well, something that he admitted for the first time in my interview. In our opinion, he has intentionally exploited the stories of other victims without their consent when they repeatedly asked him not to, and has allegedly been characterizing people as victims for his own benefit who not only do not think of themselves as victims, but have told me on the record that Johnny Silvestri scares them. He's even scared me. Multiple people have come forward to say this, and you will hear from them today.
There we go.
Yeah.
Ooh.
It's like freaking massive. Like it just goes to show, like, sometimes people like that, when they get like the wind of actually being noticed, and it also goes to their head and stuff like that, and they just keep talking.
Yes.
And then when they keep talking, they catch themselves out, because there's apparently there was so many contradictions in this documentary, in just this documentary alone, in that 6-hour interview that he did with Swoop. Like, he contradicted himself so freaking often, and it's just like, dude, your story is changing left, right, and center, and he's not even computing. Like, he thought he successfully manipulated this situation so he was in the clear, you know? Like,
it's like their egos take over, and they just don't even realize what they're saying anymore. They just keep talking.
Yeah. Because it's like, oh yeah, they're eating this up or whatever, you know, and it's just like, no, it's like that at all. Like,
he honestly, he told on himself, like, all over the place. Like, and it's funny because it's how I described it in my live stream. He literally, like, you could be on point A, and when he went and talked about point D, he was telling on himself about point A. You just have to sit there and let him talk and talk and talk. And eventually he's going to go back to points that you had questions about, but he's going to give you answers, but he's not realizing he's actually giving you the answers.
Yes.
Wow.
He's bad. He's a horrible liar.
Yeah, he thought he was smarter than everyone else around him, and that no one would pick up on all of his bullshit.
Exactly. This next clip is what now?
basically Swoop became a part of the story.
Yeah.
And she's telling me how.
Leads me to the final shocking revelation I needed to address before breaking down just how utterly disturbing Johnny Silvestri's web of lies appears to be. It's the part where I became a part of this story. Johnny Silvestri has been trying to weaponize my 6-hour interview with him that's on the record. He's doing this in private to other victims of this story as proof that his story is, and I'm not making this up, more important than the other victims of Colleen Ballinger's story.
Wow.
That's just, oh, that's so sickening. And it's just, it's like, oh, that actually makes me so mad. Like,
well, you know, I best described it that it's Johnny's world and everybody's living in it. That's exactly how he looks at it. It's Johnny's world and everybody is living in it.
Ugh.
He's such a piece of shit. He is the victim blaming that he would do, the look at me, look at me, look at me type shit. And all for literally like nothing, to be honest. 50, 31.
Attention. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's all he
all
wanted.
for attention. That's
Yeah.
all it is for. It's for attention. All right. So this next part is Johnny's tweet: victim blame, insulted swoop. All right. All right.
Is very aware now that Joshua has said he was domestically abused in his relationship with Colleen, yet Johnny...
Okay, so to give a brief recap real quick before we get into that. All right, hold on.
Yeah.
We'll go back. Okay, there we go. Johnny is saying that Joshua groomed him. Gives no evidence whatsoever. Can't even tell you how he groomed him. He cannot tell you how Joshua groomed him.
No, in that 6-hour interview, Swoop actually asked him a total of 3 times how exactly he was groomed by
Josh.
Sorry.
Joshua.
Josh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
And
couldn't tell it.
no, he couldn't. Like, he kept going in swings and roundabouts around it. Like, it was insane.
Yep. So this is this part.
said he was domestically abused in his relationship with Colleen, yet Johnny...
Yeah, Josh is saying that he was Colleen actually it was a DV situation. He was domestically abused by Colleen. And this is what I believe this is where Johnny is talking about that. Is that what this is?
Yeah, that one.
Okay.
This is what it is. Yeah.
Said he was domestically abused in his relationship with Colleen, yet Johnny felt it important to drag him in our interview for not proposing to Colleen, his alleged abuser, soon enough. You were a grown man in an abusive relationship and you stayed in it. And follows it up to my face by saying this.
He actively chose to remain in this relationship. He had so many outs. He didn't propose for like 9 years. Why did you enter a marriage that was so toxic if you knew it was so bad? You must have wanted something out of it and it bit you in the ass. He fucked around and found out, and now he's just...
Nah.
Yeah, it's disgusting.
No. That is like, no, you don't just say, you fucked around and found out. That is like the ultimate victim blame right there. Like, he was like, he had so many outs. He chose to be in that relationship, you know, like if he wasn't in it for like some sort of, you know, thing on his side where he could get something out of it, then why was he still in it? Like, and then there's all that double standards about DV as well, and like John belittling him and stuff like that, like because he's just a car salesman and stuff like that as well. And it's like, look what you've got, look at where she is in her career and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's just so disgusting. And it's just like,
Yeah.
It's also like the way he's talking about it too, like the tone of his voice.
And just that, you know, if that's how he really feels about a situation like that, then that could be flipped on him too. You thought you were being groomed and you stuck around. Like, I mean, how stupid does that sound?
Well, when you go a little bit further into it, he talks about, well, he had his chance to talk about it back then in 2016. We're not talking about that story anymore.
yeah, if you keep going, it'll show you that part too.
I can tell you that as a DV survivor, he can kiss my ass.
Right?
You can talk about your story whenever the hell you want to. It can be wait until you're on your deathbed. You can talk about it whenever the hell you want to. And who is he to say any different?
Right.
Yeah.
And that in itself is a massive contradiction, because he now is coming out about something like, you know, supposedly being groomed as well.
Yep.
So he's a victim of
Exactly.
something, and it's like that took him like how many years for him to come to terms with that,
Yeah.
or whatever he's like, you know, claiming. And it's just like, well, what is this? This is a massive double standard here. This is like, what is this?
Yeah,
like,
it's
kill yourself.
invalidating. Yeah, it's invalidating what he claims he's been through. But, like, wow.
And yet he still cannot answer the question how he groomed him. He can't answer. He literally cannot answer that question. All right, let's see. This one is Swoop shares what Johnny says with Adam. All right, let's see.
I shared all of this as well as one other thing that Johnny said to Adam. And he also said, I don't care that Joshua is a victim. He had his chance to tell his story in 2016. We're not talking about it anymore.
He's such a dick. I fucking hate Johnny. I hate Johnny!
My God.
Give me a moment. Jesus. I think it's incredibly ironic that Johnny hones in on the fact that you had your chance to speak. First of all, putting aside how victim blaming that is and how, you know, apparently you can only be a victim a year after it happens, whatever, putting that aside, right? I think it's incredibly ironic for Johnny to say you had your chance to speak up in 2016, considering Johnny was one of the main people bullying Josh into silence. He couldn't have spoken up in 2016. He couldn't have 2017, 18, 19, 20. Look what happened to me in 2020, and I wasn't her husband. I was just by her and her fans, a crazy fan. Could you imagine being the crazy ex-husband? There was not a world in which he could speak up.
Oh my God, it just hit me.
What?
It just fucking hit me. You know how Johnny won't show the text messages?
Yeah.
And then Johnny turned on Joshua like quick and went right with Colleen and bullied Joshua when that shit happened, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
What if in the text messages, Johnny tells Josh how he really feels about him and he got rejected?
Oh.
And that's why he won't show the text messages.
Oh, like, you know, that's a good theory because he does seem like, you know, like a crazy ex-girlfriend that's been scorned or whatever. Like, that's like the vibes that's coming off him.
Yeah.
Because he does, as you mentioned to me like the other day, like he does use those words like ghosting and coffee date and like all that stuff that implies like a personal relationship with him.
Yeah.
But in reality, like he always reached out to Josh first.
Yeah.
Like he always reached out to him first. And when Josh actually only like replied minimally, like and then like he never reached out to him like first, and it wasn't always inviting himself. He invited himself to all these shows. He invited himself to his place of work. He invited himself to go on a dinner or whatever.
And Missy said because Josh had said that Johnny was getting too attached, or he had talked about how Johnny's attachment was to him in that first apology in the DMs.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, this is like a plot to a Lifetime movie or something.
Oh,
like
I
the
know.
Stalking, and one person has one idea of what's happening, and the other person is just like oblivious to it.
I wonder if that's why he won't show his text messages.
Probably is.
I wonder.
For Johnny to
doesn't
use
fit
that
his
terminology
narrative as well.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
100%.
against him is incredibly ironic, because I will bet you something now. If some person had used that against Johnny, we would not hear the end of it on Twitter. And I cannot believe that he said that about someone. I honestly cannot believe it.
Here's the truth. We got over an hour and a half into our conversation, and Johnny hadn't made any concrete allegations against Joshua David Evans, except that he was a
Matt Pitt's window tipped $1.69. Today's episode still small. Matt Pitt and his small window problems. Thank you for the $1.69.
I think there's a pill for that.
There is a pill for that.
Yeah.
Matt, take your pill.
And sinister. I was trying to give him time while also needing a more solid answer to work with if my team was going to investigate on his behalf. Now, full transparency, I had to ask Johnny respectfully at least 3 times in the 6-hour interview.
I couldn't have done it. I couldn't have done it.
Yeah.
She's a better person than I am. She was more professional. I would have cussed his ass out probably within 30 minutes.
Yep.
But Johnny, if you're watching, at Xylie Gets Real on Twitter, DM me. We can get you in a live call in front of a live audience. I'm pretty sure there'll be a bunch of people there to hear you out. I know you like attention. If you don't want to DM me on Twitter, at Xylie Gets Real at gmail.com, you can email me. There we go. All right.
If he would explain exactly, if he would please just explain exactly how he was allegedly groomed by Joshua David Evans. I don't like having to ask anyone this. And I even asked Johnny multiple times if I had his consent to ask these tough questions. The questions may not always feel comfortable, and just know that I am not here to make you feel overwhelmed in any way. If you need to take a break, or if there's something that you're like, you know what, I'm done with that question, move on, just let me know, and I will move kind of according to you. I would like to begin to shift into Joshua Evans. His first answer went on a 10-minute tangent that ventured into Trent, Colleen, and Corey, 2 of whom Johnny directly told me did not groom him. So I asked Johnny to explain for a quicker soundbite.
Ding, 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 ding.
Come on, Joshua. Okay, hold on. Because I don't have the thing up, because for some reason it's not showing on my thing. Hold on.
So Baby Godzilla tips 666 and says, do y'all think Johnny coming out to Joshua was him trying to hint at him? Lol, Joshua, and then quotes, that's none of my business.
Yeah, he wasn't happy about it at all.
No.
Okay, I have it now, so I can just switch over and look at that.
Oh, there you go.
Cool. There you go.
All right. Anyway, let's go. Oh, thank you for the donation, by the way.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Previously said that you believe that Josh groomed you.
Yes.
Can you just give me a summary of exactly what Josh did that has made you feel that way?
Josh has an ego, a massive one, and it's one that I
Bro.
Takes one to know one.
Well.
can pinpoint and address, not even knowing the dude on a personal level to this day.
If you don't know him on a personal level, then how did he groom you?
Yeah, what is he saying?
This guy's dumb.
So dumb.
How did he groom you if you did not know him on a personal level? Because that is how one gets groomed. You make them trust you. Holy shit.
He took the power that he had over me, and it turned into this god complex where I think to this day he has this skewed idea that he was being a mentor. He was a dude pushing 30 who leached on to a vulnerable kid when he was in town.
You mean like how you're pushing 30 and you're still in group chats with people that you talked to while you were still in your 20s and they were 13?
Yeah, and he claims that he is a mentor to them. It's like, are you fucking kidding? He's literally describing his own situation.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And he is Josh in this situation. Like, you, oh my God.
Uh-huh. Preach it.
We did the Harlem Shake video. We filmed a little goofy, stupid video for my channel. There was a contest he did once. There were like maybe 8 of us who submitted videos. I won, and my prize was a ball of duct tape. It's just the little things if you look at them and see the patterns.
So to recap Johnny's answer as to exactly how Joshua allegedly groomed him, he said, Josh has an ego, a god complex. He thought he was a mentor. He was pushing 30 and leached. They created unoriginal trending Harlem Shake content at the auto show his whole family showed up at, and that Johnny entered a contest for a ball of duct tape and won a ball of duct tape that he still has.
So how was he groomed?
Exactly.
Gently asked him multiple times and tried to...
He wished what?
I said, I bet you he worshipped that ball of tape.
I bet you he still has that and the crown.
He still has it. Yeah,
You know
he still has
like?
He
It sounds
still
like-
has that. He still has that, and the crown that Josh wrote his number on the background in the back of for him. Which, by the way, which was in front of his parents. It wasn't in private. It wasn't passed off as a a little psst here. It wasn't passed off like that, and the parents were happy he got the phone number.
Yeah, they were
Honestly-
all like, "Hey, he's going somewhere." Sorry, Rynnie. I keep cutting you
Yeah.
off.
With this guy, what we need to do, we need to pull in Nicholas DiOrio and bring up the grooming definition because he doesn't seem to understand it.
Do you know what's really funny though? Is that she actually did. She
Oh my
actually
God.
did brought up a whole bunch of definitions throughout this. It was amazing. So
Rynnie, talk for me for a second.
Hello. Hi.
Yeah, because you were like really low.
Oh, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Shouldn't be.
All right, you're good now. All right. All right.
Get a concise answer. Here's what he said, and I will sprinkle in the additional context that was left out. Again, if you could, I'm sorry for asking a second time.
No, that's okay.
But I just want to kind of nail down exactly specifically what you think were the kind of the exact things that Josh did that leave you feeling like you were groomed.
Yeah, so first and foremost, giving a 16-year-old your phone number unprovoked.
Full context that we know, Johnny had mentioned to Josh that he was depressed around this time. Joshua said he would mentor Johnny, and Josh gave his phone number in front of Johnny's parents while Johnny was networking.
That's a big difference.
yeah,
That's a big difference. Now, do I still think it was okay for him to give the phone number? No. However, when the parents are involved and the parents are okay with it, then at that point, you have to look at all the adults in that
Yeah,
situation.
no.
Yeah.
It is not just on Josh. It's on the parents, too. The parents were okay
Yeah.
with it.
A groomer is not
Yeah.
going to do stuff in front of their parents. They're going
Right.
to do it in private where, yeah.
and the fact that like they were there saying, you know, our kid is doing the damn thing, like because they got the phone number and stuff like that,
Yeah.
and also the way that they were constantly trying to, it sounds like whenever Johnny brought them up, they were constantly sounded like they were like just talking about clout stuff. Just
Mhm.
like, oh, you know how big their following is, or blah blah blah, and like it was always something about like fans and followers and being famous. It was
Yeah.
just the weirdest dynamic for a family like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then again, it's Johnny saying it. You
Yeah.
don't. I don't know. I don't know what to believe that comes out of his mouth. Like
Yeah.
the way he operates, I want to say, okay, he might be telling the truth about his family like that. And they were in the Harlem Shake video with Josh. But then
Yeah.
again, is Johnny telling the truth about that? Because you can't believe a word that comes out of his fucking mouth.
Right.
But then again, they also would contact Josh about sending a birthday video to Johnny for at least 2 years straight.
That's right. Yeah. They were actually really persistent, the family. Like it was in Josh's DMs going, hey, just a reminder, Johnny's birthday's coming up. He'd really like to hear from you and blah, blah, blah. Like
Right.
it's just, it was kind of like a push and a nudge to try and like get them to keep getting in contact with
Yes.
Johnny. And it was like, as I said, weird dynamic.
Yes.
Really weird dynamic.
And the family
Very
definitely
strange.
knew who Josh was. Obviously,
Yeah.
they were DMing him for the damn. They would go see him at the shows with Johnny, and they would DM Josh for those damn videos. So
Yeah, they literally went out for dinner with him. They went out for dinner with him and were talking about being engaged to Colleen or trying to be engaged. Like, when are you going to put a ring on it and all that sort of stuff. Like, the
Yep.
whole family was talking about it with them.
Yep.
Johnny showed the number to his parents, and they were excited that maybe he was getting his big break. They literally said, our kid's doing the damn thing.
Our kid's doing the damn thing.
He continues.
Hanging out with the person one-on-one.
The instances they hung out were always in public, and most often when Johnny's family members were with him, and the remaining time when Johnny was an adult.
Having conversations about our personal lives, getting to know me on an intimate level. Fast forwarding
Wait.
to today.
Getting to know him on an intimate level, and it's like, oh, we don't actually. What was the exact words? I can't remember. It's like we don't
He
know
said
each
he
other
didn't know
personal
him on a
level.
personal level.
Yeah.
Really?
See, like there's so many
He contradicts
contradictions.
himself so much. he
Yeah.
contradicts himself so much.
Today, I feel more confident to say I was groomed.
If there were conversations about their personal lives on an intimate level, Johnny has not shared these with me or seemingly anybody. If there is more, I wasn't able to get it in the 6-hour interview. This man repeatedly told all of you who asked him to explain how he was groomed. He always deflected by tweeting things like, "I don't have to explain myself again, listen to Swoop." Well, thanks for listening to what Johnny said in that instance, because hi, Swoop here. I think this man is full of shit and a victim blamer. Allegedly.
He is full of shit. Fuck that allegedly shit. I'm sorry. I can't do allegedly.
Yeah.
After Johnny
I mean, with his own words, like, I would literally sit down and watch that whole 6-hour interview.
Yeah.
And count how many times, like, literally have a ticker and count every time that he contradicts himself. And about what?
Mm-hmm.
I bet you it would be amazing.
He told me before about how Josh having a big ego meant he was a groomer. I decided to give Johnny another moment to get back on track, and I asked him, but not everyone understands that grooming doesn't always have a sexual component to it or a sexual kind of end goal, that it can have different attempts at what it's leading towards. What do you think that Josh was grooming you for?
The most disturbing part, you would think it would be super disturbing if it was sexual, but that would just be pretty cut and dry. But never.
Whoa.
Oh, that is just sickening. It's like, well, yeah, the typical thing would just be if you had sexual assault or if you were R-worded. Like, no!
Yeah,
Are
he's
you
like,
kidding
mine's
me?
much worse. That's what it sounds like he's saying.
Yeah. It's just like no real motive behind it, just power, you know? That to me is more sinister or something. It's like, are you fucking kidding me? No, it's not. No, it is not. No, it is not.
Once did I ever feel like these people wanted to come on to me sexually, or any intent to exploit me in any way.
Does he know the definition of grooming?
Obviously,
No, that's the
fucking
thing.
not.
I think like he was even saying like earlier on in the interview is that he's only really heard of the word grooming from when Adam talked about it, and like just in the situation as it arose, like he doesn't actually know what these words means. He's just
No, because
flippantly...
exactly what he's saying they didn't do. Like, they didn't try to exploit me. Well, then where did they groom you?
Yeah.
Where did they groom you? If you don't feel like they tried to exploit you in any way, where did they groom you? Because even if it's not sexual, they can exploit you to like do like how Colleen did, like being her good little soldiers out there on the internet, or, you know, helping her with her bits and stuff like that. Where were you exploited? You just said they did not try to exploit you and it wasn't sexually. Then how were you groomed, motherfucker?
Do you know what? What's really funny is that like when you actually like, I know there is like a lot of comparisons between how Colleen acted with Adam and the rest of the victims, like with the secrets and like the sharing of information, all that sort of stuff, like how he was with his group of people that he was talking to, the underage people inside his group chats, and then giving them secrets about the tours and that sort of stuff. It's just like, hang on, there are so many correlations there that is actually putting you under the microscope for that sort of situation. Like, it's just literally, he had an ego. That's right, Julie.
No.
Yeah, so maybe this is a good time to address another issue I face with Johnny Silvestri. He used my own quote about how not all grooming is sex to make the point that to him, his non-sex grooming is worse. Johnny was made very aware on multiple occasions that as a child, I was groomed and repeatedly sexually abused for years.
The most disturbing part, you would think it would be super disturbing if it was sexual, but that would just be pretty cut and dry. People don't quite understand.
I hate this man so much. Oh my god.
And just him saying that makes my skin crawl. Like,
Right?
how can you let those words come out of your mouth and not think for a second? Like, that sounds fucked up.
Yeah.
That's the thing. He's not thinking. He's just letting that shit spew, and like, thank fuck he wasn't thinking, because otherwise none of this would be uncovered. You know, like
Yeah. Imagine if he was more calculative and shit. Like,
Henrietta says Swoop looks like she wants to curb stomp him. I think we should.
She does.
oh hell yeah, hell yeah! You can see in her face, like she's holding it pretty together. To be honest,
I
like,
couldn't have done it. I couldn't have done it.
Yeah.
What grooming is, which is why I appreciated your breakdown of it in the first segment. I actually highlighted that and posted it on TikTok. It could solely be for power, which to me sounds so much more disturbing. I mean, sexually is horrific, but just
there is no but. There is no but. It's horrific. There is no but, bro.
My story is more important than everyone else's story, and it's the worst out of everybody. That's essentially what it's saying. And I don't care who you are, what happened to you, but you know, the way that it was happened to me, the way that it had, like, it was just power and there was no personal interactions and all that sort of bullshit. Yeah, that's the worst.
Yep.
That's the worst.
Yeah.
I want to point out how his shirt says "Do what makes you happy," and I guess what makes him happy is lying through his fucking teeth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
if other than power and boredom, that is almost more disturbing than having a very set in stone motive behind what you're doing.
Set in stone? Set in stone. Sexual abuse of a child is not a set in stone response to that sort of situation. Oh my god.
Confidently say what Joshua's motive was.
Even in part 1 of this docu-series, I voluntarily lent my story to this conversation as a means and an attempt of showing that I am a survivor of brutal, life-altering abuse and that grooming of any kind is serious. I thought if I lend my voice and my experience there, it would help support people. Knowing that, Johnny essentially used even my experience to say that his perception of how he alleges he was groomed by a big ego is more disturbing than sexual grooming. That tweeting to a man with a big ego or getting a ball of duct tape and shit posting on a Twitter account is somehow more disturbing than being f***ing raped.
Yep.
He said that
fucking
perfectly.
yeah.
He has a track record of trying to one-up victims as if it's the f***ing victim Olympics.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Absolutely. Oh my god. So the next part of that, before we get into the next sort of clip, they did like a bit of more of an investigation into like more about the evidence and that sort of stuff and what they found when they were gathering evidence, well, so-called evidence from Johnny. So it was like this little 10-minute section, and basically like Swoop felt like Johnny lied to her about everything, tried to make Johnny's story make more sense. So they gave him the benefit of the doubt and tried to put things together, but things just weren't making sense. Johnny wasn't forthcoming with Josh's messages, and then was quick to give her some messages and then lied about he hadn't been able to get the messages. So there was this whole situation with like his computer not being able to run for a very long time, so he had to be quick to download them. And then, you know, it was just this whole big runaround story about how he couldn't get it. So Swoop actually didn't believe that he can't access the messages because you can access them from your account from any device, right? So with like iPhone or Apple or anything like that, you can literally like access your iMessages from like an iPad or like a MacBook or your phone or something like that. So like you can access it from multiple points and multiple devices. So that in itself is just a blatant freaking lie, you know?
Yep.
And then there was parts of it where like there was screenshots that contains like the default desktop background, which showed that like, you know, it was from the older one, but then there was also newer screenshots that he accessed on his new computer and on his phone for other screenshots. And so like it was just like none of it made sense.
It's basically a really good lesson that if you give screenshots, clean your screenshots up.
Yeah, crop them.
Crop your damn screenshots, because you know what? It's amazing how much information they can find just by leaving like your Wi-Fi counter or your Wi-Fi little graph up there. It's amazing what they can find out about you if your screenshot isn't cropped correctly.
Yeah, absolutely. Also, like, they were saying that Johnny either doesn't have all the texts at all, or he has the text with Josh and it just looks like his Twitter DMs. So, like, you know how his Twitter DMs were really one-sided?
Yeah,
where
his
Josh
Twitter
didn't really
DMs,
respond to him.
The Twitter DMs between... Wait, why am I hearing... Okay, my ear is just going crazy. The Twitter DMs between Johnny and Joshua, there were only 20 messages in the span of like, what, 2 or 3 years? That's it.
Yeah.
And most of them were from Johnny, unanswered by Josh.
Yep.
Huh.
And he tried to delete some of them to make it look like he wasn't so desperate.
Uh-huh.
But she had already got the DMs from Josh. She didn't tell Johnny that, though.
Yeah,
So she
and
saw
plus
what
he
deleted.
he removed so many Twitter DMs on his side, and he manipulated that narrative. So that, as you said, like Swoop asked both Johnny and Josh to send the Twitter DMs to her, but didn't tell either side that she asked either one of them for them. So when she received them, she noticed that Johnny actually deleted a lot of text messages from his side of the conversation, whereas like Josh did not delete any at all. Like, he was literally here is what was happening. So you can tell just by that one little situation there, who do you think is going to be more forthcoming with the story and a bit more honest about everything?
True.
Right.
True. All right, and she is saying something to him directly.
Yeah, so this is pretty much the last part where Swoop basically addresses Johnny directly. Yeah.
Okay.
Because in my opinion, Johnny turned his own drama into something dangerous. Now, if Johnny has trauma and he wants to express that to the world, he has the right to do that. I just want him to do it honestly.
He ain't got no damn trauma. Not from Josh. Not, and I doubt for any of the Ballingers. I'm just saying. I don't think he's got trauma at all. Nope.
Yeah.
I mean, now, he may have trauma from some other outside source. Like, as in, has nothing to do with the situation at all, but something else that nobody knows that has nothing to do with Colleen Ballinger or anybody surrounding her. But as far as the Colleen Ballinger shit and Josh and all that, no, I don't think he does. I really don't.
Yeah, because what makes a person go to those lengths for like fame and for likes and for views and for clicks and manipulating a story that he was like only just kind of like on the outskirts of to make himself the main character, so he can actually have this sort of fame. Like it's just. It's just like something must have like, triggered him, or like,
I think he just
like,
saw an opportunity and jumped on it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like everyone else, and in a way that doesn't negatively affect everyone's well-being that I have spoken to today. So now some tough love that I...
Okay, Cosmo makes a point. I don't know, Corey DeSoto is apparently pretty nasty to deal with. He could be valid with that shit, but we'll never really know. Well, here's the bad part, Cosmo. He has fucked up his narrative and his story so bad with no proof, and he literally claimed someone to be a groomer. Even if it is true, I wouldn't believe him.
Yeah, it's literally boy cries wolf, right?
I wouldn't believe him. He could come out today. He would have to have such rock solid proof. Wouldn't believe him.
Yeah.
I hope you take to heart as you venture on that path. I'm going to address you directly now, Johnny. I fought for you. We fought harder for you and gave you every possible chance we could to help you show your side, and you betrayed me. For 6 straight hours, you gaslit me, manipulated me, and made me afraid to tell the truth, and I should never be afraid to tell the truth.
As the storyteller, you shouldn't be afraid to tell the truth.
No.
But he roped her into it with his bullshit.
truth. In my opinion, you used victims, you abused victims, and you crawled in the shadows amongst them to hide your sins. You told me your grooming was worse than me being sexually abused for years. You told me domestic survivors have a ticking clock. You came on my platform where I have a community of countless survivors watching who were ready to support you, and you dared to diminish them with your bullshit and degrade me to my face, all so that you could be the star of the show. You f***ed around with Swoop, and now you found out. But there's still time.
Period.
Oh, yeah.
Johnny, do the right thing, apologize, take accountability, and most of all, be honest with yourself. You cannot grow or change until you do these things, and I have to believe change is possible for everyone, even with you. The truth will set you free.
Amen.
The thing about it is somebody that's that narcissistic is probably never going to get out of that because they're not going to see that they were wrong ever.
Nope. Hey, can y'all talk to the chat real quick? I'm gonna run to the restroom real quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, get swooped on, son.
Yeah, did you
So
see
Sean.
that tweet where there was actually like a new Urban Dictionary entry where it was like you got swooped, and
Oh,
like
that's
now this is
funny.
actually like a I thought that was great. Yeah. Honestly, yeah, Swoop's community is great. Absolutely. Oh my god.
He just makes my
Henrietta.
skin crawl. Like
Yeah.
everything he said, even the way he shifts his eyes around and like, he's gross.
It's the shifty eyes, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's the
Yeah, like
shifty little
after
eyes.
watching it, knowing everything that came out about him, like you really notice the stuff like that. Like when she asked him a question that he clearly doesn't have an answer for, his eyes get real shifty.
Yeah. Did
Yeah.
you see that point inside the interview where he was talking about, I don't want to talk to little girls, I want to talk to boys. Oh, men. You should have seen his face. His eyes went so bright and so wide. He was like, oh shit, I said the wrong thing. Like he fucking caught himself out.
Oh
Right.
God.
Oh my god. That was like one of the many situations inside that that documentary. So if you guys want to see that, go ahead, go to Sweep's channel and definitely get a look at that. Or you can, if you like some commentaries, Xylie had actually been going over that video the last couple of days. So she just finished it a few hours ago on her channel. So it's a combination of two videos, including the commentary as well. So if you'd like to see that, I'll put it in the chat. Just give me a moment. I'll find it. Xylie gets real. All right. Copy.
Man, since his parents have always been so involved with his like online life, I wonder what they're thinking now.
That's a really good question,
Yeah.
actually.
Ugh.
That's a damn good question, actually. I wonder too.
So if you guys want to watch the whole thing with commentary, go to Xylie's channel. I popped it in the chat. That's part 1 and part 2. They're out at the moment. So yeah, go check that out on Xylie's channel.
Woohoo! It's 7 hours. I did get the last one down to 3. I was very proud of myself.
Oh, well done.
But okay, so after the video dropped, all right, homeboy decided to take this little notes app, all right? Betrayed is an understatement. My trauma was used against me today in a way I had never imagined would happen. I was given guidance and a safe space to share my story. I was praised for being so vulnerable and honest, only to be defamed on such a gross level it feels beyond explanation right now. I feel so hurt and disregarded. Swoop, You claim to stand for victims, and what you did today is the polar opposite.
Oh.
You have no regard for my life, the trauma I faced, the safety of so many others involved. You've completely shifted the narrative while making sure to promote your merch and fabricated a story for some extra revenue. I am so beyond disgusted by all of this. I am not going to sit here and defend myself to every one of your heinous allegations about me via Notes app, but I will be making... What?
It's a cop-out.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
But I will be making a proper statement regarding all of these disgusting false statements. This is 100% character assassination, and I won't stand for it. Swoop, you encouraged me and made me feel like you were a massive source of trust. You chose to interview Adam about allegations regarding me. Oh, like how you chose to bring out other people's stories who didn't want their stories told there, Johnny? Like you did, Johnny? And then told Swoop that, sorry, girl, but if it was the law, I would have to tell them. That's what you said, Johnny. Anyway, you chose to interview Adam about allegations regarding me rather than talking to me, which for starters is scummy. You wanted information at your request as if I wasn't working full time and in the process of moving, which I was upfront about. You can call names and spread your lies, but I know my truth and I will not stop sharing it because of people like you. He has not tweeted in 3 days.
Ooh. Has he liked anything?
Oh, good question.
No.
Nope.
It's random shit, nothing to do
Stay
with
off
it.
the internet.
Wow. What do you reckon he's like just got an alt out there just seething?
Huh?
Do you reckon he's got an alt out there just seething around? Like,
Yes.
because I
you
feel
know
like he's
it.
one of those people that just can't get away from the internet.
No,
anyway
he has
and just
alt
stick
accounts.
with it.
He absolutely has alt
Yeah.
accounts.
Yeah, if you go
Absolutely.
through the comments
Haven't done
of
it.
his post right there, it's like nothing but people just dogging on him. Like I didn't see a single person like on his side at all. And normally there's at least like one or two.
There's
I didn't see
Frenzy.
any.
He fucked around and found out.
Get fucked, dude.
Yep.
What's this? You said it yourself?
Have to say this and spell it out for some people, but I want to make something very clear. Just because you have been abused by someone in your life does not make you any less capable of being abusive and shitty towards other people.
Wow. That was pretty
Ooh.
fucking insightful.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, he's getting tore the fuck up.
Yeah, look, there's the definitions of character assassination and defamation in there as well.
Toxic deflective
funny.
train.
Oh my god.
They are tearing his ass up. They tore his ass up.
I didn't see a single person in support of him.
Mm-mm.
So that's wild.
Mm-mm.
You are very wrong if not a single ding dong on the internet is supporting you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There's something else that I wanted. I talked to this guy here, and he said Johnny lied to him all within the DMs and stuff. I talked to this guy here, and
really?
yeah, he's pretty pissed. Oh no, he must have deleted the one tweet because I ended up quote tweeting him. Oh, here it is. August 12th. He tweeted, I just know part 3 of Swoop's doc is going to be a whirlwind. Let's all collectively mentally prepare.
I don't think he could have prepared for that.
Oh, you're not going to find my quote tweet in here because I quote tweeted that. Oh, here it is. Bro, you are so busted. I'm happy to see it. Period.
Fuck.
That did not age well at all.
No.
Nope.
So that was his answer to that. All right, so this is Adam's video. I'm putting it on 1.25. And it is called swoop/Johnny. And he pretty much explains he's doing this all in one take. He says it. So let me know when y'all are ready.
Ready.
Chat, are you ready? Put a 1 in the chat if you are ready, chat. And
Let's do it.
You know what, chat?
Ooh.
I'm gonna look into what y'all are doing. We have 141 people in here. Can I get at least 75 to 80 likes? Is it possible?
Yeah,
Is it possible?
guys can hit that little thumb right there.
Hit that little thumbs up. I mean, that helps us a lot.
It really does, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It helps puts us in the algorithm. That would be awesome. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
We appreciate it. Okay, I just got to tell this little story before we get started.
Okay.
So, I had my first live stream on the first half of the video, right?
Right.
Mhm.
Freaking Leon is in the audience, in the chat, cussing out everybody in the chat going, how are there 900 people in here and there's not 300 likes?
Oh,
He's cussing out people. It worked though. By the time he left, he hit 300. I was like,
That's
damn,
funny.
bro.
yeah,
Don't
Leon's a big
abuse him.
bully. It's so true.
Oh God, he's the most loving bully I've ever dealt with. I swear to God, he really is. All right, so let's get this going.
Hi everyone,
Yeah, let's
so
get into
I
it.
am going to be doing today's video in one complete take, and the reason for that is because I'm going to be 100% honest with you, I don't want to listen to this back. So I just kind of want to put everything out there, have a very open conversation, and not listen to it back. Because there's been a lot of reliving, obviously, through the past couple months, but even more so in the past couple weeks, there has just been a lot that has sent me into a very bad place. So I'm kind of doing my best to kind of protect my inner self here. So I think a lot of us have seen Swoop's video.
I feel sorry for Adam because this guy literally tried to hijack his story.
Yeah. And he was like literally he was taking his story to try and validate his own story. It's like, well, if you don't believe Adam, then you won't. If
you don't believe me, if you don't believe me, then you can't believe Adam.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Swoop posted part 3 of her deep dive into Colleen Ballinger last night, and it was very unexpected for people what the topic of it was. I know a lot of people were thinking it was going to be about this or about that, and obviously the video centered around Johnny, and talked about Johnny's allegations, Johnny lying, Johnny pretending to be a victim, Johnny just being the worst, and...
You know, Marley, that you actually have a really good point. Marley says twice this has happened to Adam being used like this. What the fuck?
Ooh.
Because Cody was the first one.
Oh, I was gonna say it was the first one. Of course it was Cody.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Cody attached Adam's story to her video because I'm telling you now, Cody knows nobody would give a fuck about her story, but it would be Adam's part that would get the views. Because
Yeah.
it was the
Came back up,
truth
right?
of what happened to Adam in 2020.
Yeah. You're like, she came back up, right? You know that, yeah? Like, she ended up commenting underneath.
Oh,
that
I
Swoop
absolutely
video.
do, because when Van Luke showed it, I, like the proper commentary lady that I am, I retweeted it and says, frankly, Cody, we don't care.
Yep.
And I meant every syllable of my sentence. Don't give a fuck about Cody. Cody, you lost your right for anybody to give a fuck.
Stay
She's
gone.
just as goofy as Johnny.
Yep.
Yeah.
100%.
So I've known for a while that this is what part 3 was going to be, and the reason that I knew before I get into a timeline and talk, I'm going to be a little bit all over the place, so please bear with me. This is now the second person I'm dealing with that I befriended, who has completely backstabbed me or tried to ruin me or lied to my face or made me feel a certain way or use me in any way. Shout out Cody, shout out Johnny. I'm gonna be honest, at this stage I'm just tired, and I don't really know what to say past that. But whenever I was in Paris, I went with my mom and my dad for my mom's birthday. We went, on a little 3 of us away to Paris, very exciting. We were, gone for a couple days, and on one of the days, we went to the rooftop bar at our hotel. We were staying at the Pullman Eiffel Tower Hotel. Recommend it, love it. And
Of course, Adam's like, recommend it, love it.
Yeah.
Wish I could go to Paris.
they had a rooftop bar, and we went, and it like overlooked the Eiffel Tower. It was beautiful. I'm just like setting the scene. And we went to order a drink, and I ordered a glass of Bordeaux red wine, my favorite. And I get a message from Swoop that I was going to read it out, but I'll not actually read it out. It was something along the lines of, I need to speak with you immediately. I've uncovered something really dark, and I need to talk to you. When I tell you that I have never been as scared as what I was in that moment, and I was saying this to Swoop, like, I've never been so nervous when someone has texted me something ever. I just didn't know if or what that meant. And I end up getting a call from Swoop, and I stand out on the little terrace of the bar, and I'm on the phone to Swoop, and my heart is going, and Swoop ends up being like, can I talk to you for a moment? And I say, yeah. And she's like, I need to tell you. And she ends up telling me everything of what you saw in part 3. And this was before part 3 was, part 3. It was whenever it was research, and it was whenever the editing had only started and putting things together. It was, kind of the bare bones start stage of what you saw.
I can't imagine what Swoop's team and Swoop felt when that story turned for them.
Yeah. Right. They'll be like, fuck, more work.
Well, besides that,
yeah.
it's like, I mean, I could see Swoop going like, the audacity of this motherfucker.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the literal Cole Cassidy.
Yeah.
So it was very early on. And I ended up being on that call with Swoop for a long time. And above anything else, I have never been so grateful for someone ever, and I'm not going to get emotional because we're not doing that today, because we're not doing that. I have never been so grateful for someone that I've ever met, honestly, as someone who was had no, there's no reason for Swoop to be telling me what she did. She didn't have to. She could have made part 3 and not involved me. But she was letting me know things that were concerning to her, things that apply to me, and was protecting me. And was protecting me in a way that was fully protecting me, and not anything that she was gaining from it. And I really felt that I had someone looking out for me in that moment. And I'm so grateful for that call, because she didn't need to involve me in any of this. She didn't need to let me know this is what she was doing.
I mean, that's true. She didn't have to tell him anything. She could have just dropped the video and he would have found out then.
Mm-hmm.
No, I think that was very good of her to do. I really do.
Yeah,
I think
she
it was
actually
very
has
good
respect for Adam, unlike Johnny.
Yeah, absolutely.
She didn't. And so that call went on for a while, and it was shocking, and I'm not going to reiterate what was in the call because we've seen it in part 3, but it was basically that. And she was like, can we do an interview on this? And I was like, anything you want to ask me, I will do it. And obviously I was in Paris, so I was, on my hotel Wi-Fi, and I was like nervous. And we were going to do it 2 days later. So I went to Disneyland the next day, and then I did the interview. And I was going to Moulin Rouge that night, but I was like, I'll come back and I'll like stay up like past midnight and we'll do the call. And I was told to her, like, I don't need questions. I don't need, necessarily, like, what subtopics you're doing. Like, just hit me with anything. And I've been very persistent in that with journalists, with anyone that will ask me questions, because I think what we saw yesterday is when you lie, you need to think about your questions. When you lie, you need to know what stories you've told this person or that person. When you I could go on and on and on. When you tell the truth, you don't need to be hit with questions. You can be hit with them on the spot.
Yes.
You don't need to prep your answers.
Yep.
And that was something that I said to Swoop. I was
1000%. There was a part in the video where they were talking about how Johnny was gloating about the 6 hours, right? And Johnny, I guess Johnny had asked Adam, how long was your interview? And he was like 45 minutes. Well, yeah, I guess so. Because when she was talking to Adam, Adam was like, yeah, this, and this. And he has stayed consistent with everything that he has said. Johnny, on the other hand, he would say one thing to H3H3, one thing with the we don't know them podcast or whatever, and one thing to Swoop. And then even within his 6-hour conversation with Swoop, he would say one thing over here, and then like sometimes within even the same sentence, he says the total opposite.
Yeah, it is truly amazing how far Johnny has made it in life with his ass where his mouth should be.
Seriously. It's like I used to say, he's like a bag of manure. Every time he opens up, shit comes out. Yes. Literally.
Like, I will come back from Moulin Rouge,
Oh,
and I
we
will
know
go on
them.
this
There
call
you
with you, and hit me with whatever. And I will be a complete open book. I will hold nothing back. And that was what happened. We did the call, I think it lasted until like 4 or 5 a.m. Paris time, and it was an emotional night. At Moulin Rouge, the night of that, a couple hours before the call, I had, went with my parents, and I was in such a mood that night, and I know my parents picked up on this, where I felt that I was like a champagne bottle that was about to pop with just emotions, because I was dealing with the Cody situation, but 100 times worse, because I've been platforming Johnny, and Johnny has been lying to me, and Johnny's been talking shit about me, and Johnny has been using my story.
I do agree with him. I think Cody was really, 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 really bad, but I think Johnny was worse because he actually co-opted fucking Adam's story and then turned around, victim blamed Adam, told him that his story was more important, and Johnny told Adam that my story is more important than yours. Like, bro, what?
Yeah.
Victim blamed the other victims and even tried to co-opt their stories. Mm-hmm. Like Oliver, for example, who has got to do with Trent Ballinger and grooming, right? Even tried to say Trent Ballinger groomed him.
Yeah.
Johnny tried to take that story. Yes, he's taking everybody's story. It's fucking crazy.
And it's so weird, though, how all the people who were adults when this stuff happened, they were the ones that were so desperate for these people's attention.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
It's so weird.
Yep. It is. It's very weird. Very.
Johnny has been lying about my stories. Johnny has been making my story.
Ding, 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 ding.
I got you, Baby Godzilla. I got you this time. All right, Baby Godzilla for a 666. Johnny's story about being a minor stuck at the airport is just a reflection of Adam's story of Colleen leaving him stranded in Dublin. Oh,
yeah.
Baby Godzilla, you're right.
Yeah, that's spot on.
Holy shit.
You're right. Oh my God. You are so right. I didn't think about that.
Yeah, me either. That is exactly what it is.
I didn't even think about that.
I didn't either.
Oh
I didn't either. I didn't put two and two together on that one at all. See, we have the second smartest audience. Of course, my audience is the smartest, but then there's the broadcast audience.
Debatable, yeah.
No, but I really didn't think of that. So you're right. It's like, he's such a piece of shit.
His own. Johnny has been.
Oh, wait. And that's another thing, too. Explain to me, Bunny, how somebody stays 17 for 3 years in a row.
Yeah.
Yeah. This guy can't even keep up with his lies while he's saying it.
Yes. Absolutely.
All these different things, and it was like Cody to the max. And the Cody thing nearly took me out. And at Moulin Rouge, I could not enjoy the show because I was just so much. And at the end of the show, I turned around to my parents and they were like, "You were so quiet during that. Were you enjoying it?" And I was so choked up that literally one of the most embarrassing moments of my entire life. I'm like sob crying at our table at Moulin Rouge. I've never cried like that in my life. And it was 100% stress, overwhelming, sadness, like upset, confusion, any word you can say. And I really, really, really was considering not doing the interview with Swoop. I didn't say any of this to her. I was considering not doing it because it nearly killed me to have to be seen and talk about this again. But I'm grateful that I did. And
you know what? I wish this would just finish up and get it over with and done with and let everybody move on. I mean, get everybody's stories out, obviously. I'm not saying rush it. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying rush it. But I mean, I just want to get to whatever resolution this is going to get to, because hopefully from that point of the resolution, people can move on.
Yeah, it's just dragging their trauma out. It's pitiful to watch.
Yes. And this whole Johnny shit literally is like re-traumatizing these people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly.
Like he did so much harm with that story. And it's like, unfortunately, Swoop, because he did involve Swoop, because he did lie, because he did that, Swoop had to take time out of the real stories to cover that asshole and what he was doing. It's crazy. It's crazy.
The reason is because Swoop, throughout the time that I have first encountered Swoop, has been nothing but pleasant, has been nothing but comforting, and has done nothing but create a safe space in which I feel I can open up, which not many people have done, and which a lot of people don't feel that they need to do. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I'm talking about your story, and great, whatever. Swoop has been so consistent in, like, if you want to answer things and you don't want them to be on the record, like, I'm here to just listen to you as someone who has dealt with similar things. I'm here to listen to you, and I'm here to provide you with, you know, a safe space. And that has been exactly what Swoop has felt like throughout this entire thing. And I just want you to know that the Swoop that you see on camera is the Swoop you get behind the scenes. And I cannot even put into words. Saying so much better behind the scenes sounds like she's not great in front of the camera, but she is just one of the greatest people and one of the most sincere people, I think that's the word I would use, I've ever encountered. So I did the call because I knew that I would feel comfortable. And I also knew that Swoop would not test my boundaries or anything, and she didn't. And I got on the call, and I think it was one of the first clips she showed me. I pretty immediately just started crying, and I was just frustrated, and I was sad, and I'm a bit embarrassed watching it back, I'm gonna be honest.
Nothing to be embarrassed about.
No, not at all.
He has nothing to be embarrassed about. I mean, those are very fucking valid. I mean, look what this asshole did. Look what Johnny did. You can't. Yeah, he has nothing to be embarrassed about. Nothing at all. It's fucked up what Johnny did.
I was a bit embarrassed watching my interviews throughout the entire thing. I was very emotional. I was very upset, and if I would sit down here and properly start to open up about like how I did during that interview, I would probably cry again, which would make me feel even more embarrassed. But I'm just so fed up with trusting people and opening up to people, and then they've been using me, or they're lying to me, or they have an ulterior motive, and it's like, I just don't know how many times I can deal with this, honestly. So we did the call, and that's what happened, and Swoop was incredible. Swoop took her time and was just there for me, and I appreciate that, and made me feel that I wanted to open up, and
Good.
I answered anything she hit me with. And if I didn't answer it, it was because I didn't have, you know, an answer. I didn't have anything to add. And by the way, when you don't have anything to add, you don't say anything.
Exactly.
Yeah, you don't just make shit up.
Exactly. God damn. How is it a 20-year-old is much more mature than a 27-year-old?
Well, he's not mature at all, right? Yeah.
Jesus.
You don't make stories up if you have nothing to add. Just because you want a longer interview with Swoop. You don't do that. If I didn't have an answer to what Swoop would ask me, I would say, I would answer that if I knew something. But I'm going to be honest with you, I don't. Or I've only heard other people talk about this, and I don't want to speak for other people. You don't start to make things up in the moment so that you can have a longer call with Swoop, or you can be featured more in her fucking video.
Yep.
So that was the call, that was the interview, and I thank Swoop so much for letting me know before the video was posted. I thank her for making me feel included in that process. Because if I had been blindsided by that yesterday, I don't know what I would have done.
That's why I think it was good. Excuse me. That's why I think it was good that she did tell him. Could you imagine being Adam and then take the Adam parts out, because obviously she wouldn't, if she wouldn't have talked to him, and Adam would have watched that. Could you imagine being Adam at that point?
Yeah.
That would have been like, holy shit. You know? Listen, I respect Swoop, and I respect how she runs her operation. I respect how she's thorough. She is one of, to me, for me personally, one of the most respected YouTubers that does her damn thing. Okay?
Yeah.
We'll
She's
steal
very
from the
professional.
Silvestris here. She does her damn thing. She really does. And definitely respectful, and I respect her work. Honestly.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, is it true that like when she's talking about her team and stuff like that, it's literally like 2 or 3 people? Like there isn't like a massive group of people that are doing all this research and stuff like that. It's literally like,
nah, fuck that. That bitch got the CIA or the FBI behind her. No, fuck that.
I was gonna say,
No,
like-
I'm telling you now. If she even threatens to make a YouTube short on me, I'm out. Y'all gonna, my last tweet, I'm like, you know what? Swoop's coming out with a short on me or a video on me. I'm out. Peace. Y'all will never see me again. I'm done. I'm done. And I'm gonna live the rest of my life with my real name and my real life, and I'm never coming on the internet again. Swoop ain't coming back. Swoop ain't coming for me, and I'm gonna come back on YouTube. Kiss my ass. No, I'm not. Okay?
It's over.
No, it's over. It's Jover. Let me tell you.
So Jover.
It's so Jover. Swoop ain't coming for me. No, hell no.
And again, she didn't need to let me feel involved in this or be involved in this, whatever. And I'm also grateful she decided to very much so throughout the video, make the distinction between me and Johnny, because I think those lines have been very blurred by a lot of people online, because Johnny has went out of his way to make sure to let you know that Johnny is Adam, but what happened to Adam happened to Johnny worse. So, Swoop, I love you. You did the thing with that video.
Yep.
Like, that was incredible. Swoop and her team are so fucking dedicated, are so incredible, and get this shit done. And care about this stuff. And I can tell you, by the way, there's so much that didn't make the cut for the video. Like, they have devoted so much time, effort, and energy into this because they care about it. Because they care about it. Because they care about people that go through things like this. And we can't say that about everyone.
True.
So, I do just want to open it with that, and I kind of want to talk about some other things on where I'm at right now. So, opening up, first of all, Johnny has told a lot of people, and even told Swoop, that he used to bully me and our paths used to cross a lot in the Twitter fandom. And that was how we started to know each other. This is bullshit. This is not what happened. Johnny has also went on the record saying that he was the generation before me in the fandom. Maybe we had crossed paths once or twice. Me and Johnny were not friends, and Johnny was not in the Twitter fandom bullying me whenever I was like 10 years old, because I wasn't, that was not
He wasn't in the fandom. He wasn't in the fandom at 10 years old.
Like, why would he lie about that?
Great question.
Exactly.
That's why? What
Yeah,
is
just
the point?
why?
What is the point and purpose of lying about that?
add up. When he told the story to me on the phone call that Colleen Ballinger used to bully me when I was 10 years old, 10 years old, and Johnny would have to defend me, it didn't make sense to me. It made me extremely upset because I was in a very emotional state from that couple weeks of uploading those videos, but it didn't make sense to me even in that moment because at 9 and 10 years old I wasn't properly involved in the fandom yet. So Johnny has continuously made up stories about me or involving me to kind of make himself the savior. He will make up a story from so long ago that I won't remember if it happened or not. And thank God, not only do I not remember it, but the dates don't add up, so it further validates that this didn't happen. He will make up these stories and then take accountability and apologize for them, but they didn't happen in the first place, so he's just taking away from the things he actually needs to take accountability for, and it's fucking disgusting.
Yes, it is.
Mm-hmm.
How the fuck are you gonna make up the lie about somebody who wasn't even there at that age? But then again, Johnny Silvestri, he magically was 17 for 3 years. So, I mean, hey. Maybe he thought Adam magically was in the fandom at 9, 10 years old.
Yeah, you know, maybe he's got that really rare condition called time blindness.
Maybe.
You know that one?
Yeah. Maybe. Maybe he's Benjamin Button or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Shit's just going backwards for him.
Yeah. Good God.
So those stories he told were not true. And he would also say that, you know, he would have to defend me from Colleen so much back in 2012 and back in 2011 and all these different things, and they're doing tiny chats. That was not true. He would lie. I did my first ever video call with Colleen probably in like 2017 or 2018 or something like that. He lies a lot, and he lies a lot about me. And I have been wanting to say something for so long, but out of fear of people saying that I was attacking a victim, I never did.
And that's why I never ran anything about Johnny's story. I can't remember if I mentioned Johnny here or if I mentioned Johnny on a stream on mine, but I said, I said something to the effect of, that's the adult that allegedly got groomed. That's all I ever said about him. I wouldn't talk about his story because I didn't feel right about Johnny. And I have proof of that because late night Discord talking about this stuff, right? Yeah. I told Matt Pitt that. I told Matt Pitt months ago that Johnny guy, there's something wrong there. And I don't know what it is, but something's not right with what he's saying. And something's not right with how he's putting the information out. Something's not right. And Matt remembers that. I told Matt that. But I didn't say it publicly because what would it look like me being the channel that I am and the stories that I cover, I come out and this guy's talking about how he's a victim and I'm looking at him going, you're full of shit.
Right.
Yeah.
Because where's your proof at that stage? It was more of a hunch.
Right. It was literally a hunch. It wasn't, I had proof. It was, and I didn't even go look for the proof because I was like, fuck this guy. I'm not even going to cover his story. You know? Mm-hmm. And that's why I just stuck with Adam. That way I would be consistent and just stick with Adam. You know? Because if I would have covered, say, Oliver's story, why aren't you covering Johnny's? You know what I'm saying? So I stuck with Adam.
Yeah.
That's the thing as well. It's like when you look at like the H3 interview or whatever, like there's I noticed there was a timestamp inside the comments, and it was literally somebody timing the times where each of the three people had their chance to talk. And Oliver only had 3 minutes throughout the entire thing where he was actually talking.
Wow.
And it was basically all Johnny. It was all Johnny, mostly anyway. So
yeah,
it's insane.
Adam did say that he hogged it.
Yeah.
Ooh.
See, I haven't seen that interview. I want to go back and see that interview.
Maybe that's something we might be able to cover on Wednesday. We'll have a look on it's like some of that and the Do We Know Them one or something like that. Well, I don't know.
Or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we also have a recorded episode too. I do know one of them I'm going to cover on my channel. I just don't know yet, so we can figure out which ones we're going to do for the broadcast and which one for my channel.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter to me because any of it. I just want to see the stuff and I want to react to it. It doesn't matter if it's here, over there. I don't care. We can just figure all that out because either way, I want to see it. So
yeah, I want to see it too.
Yeah.
Dude, the Do We Know Them podcast, they had 2 episodes on that, right? Like they were supposed to come out with a second part.
They got rid of. I heard they got rid of one.
I wish they would just put it out so we could see all the crap he lied about.
Well, see, here's my thing. Okay, can I make this side note, being that you brought that up? Listen, there are broadcasts that every time I say broadcast now, I think of us. There are broadcasts. They're not researchers. Okay, they literally practically sit down and gossip. Okay.
Yeah.
I am not so hard on them like a lot of people have been. Now, I understand Joshua being upset because they wouldn't talk to Joshua after what Johnny had went on there and said. Now, I get Joshua being upset. I get it. He has 100% right to be upset because they would not talk to him. All right? Now, if they would have talked to him, I would have felt a different way. All right?
Yeah.
But...
Because that was... Yeah, sorry.
No, it's okay. But they didn't have all the research done. They were just literally talking to Johnny. I am not going to hold that against them. I'm not. Because it's not like they're heavy on research and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's not like if Swoop had a podcast. Now, if it happened on like a Swoop podcast, I'd be like, girl, what happened? What happened, Swoop? This ain't Swoop, but it's Jessie Smiles, for God's sakes.
Yeah, she hasn't really been the pillar of excellence when it comes to research, so...
Exactly. It's Jessie fucking Smiles. So, I mean... I'm not upset. If anything, they provided proof Johnny was a liar.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I really wish they would put out their second part, just so we can see what else he's got to say. Full lies.
If anything, they provided more proof, without knowing it at the time, but they provided more proof that he's a fucking liar.
Yeah.
When did that video happen? Because I'm on their page at the moment and I don't see it anywhere.
They might have taken it down then.
Yeah, they probably took it down because I think they were getting a lot of hate for it.
God damn. Do you want me to read out what Joshua David Evans said to Lily and Jessie, like that statement?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so basically he put out a statement a couple of days ago to Lily and Jessie from the Do We Know Them podcast. So he goes, Lily and Jessie, you treated me like garbage even after I pleaded privately/publicly for you to at least consider giving me a voice. I tried for days. You rolled your eyes and didn't do your homework. You didn't care how his words would impact my life. You wanted the tea and the clicks. That's it. Your attitude was disrespectful and reckless. Your channel and intentions are literally the polar opposite of Swoop and her team. You are a prime example of why people in my shoes rarely speak up or get justice. Hope you enjoyed the money your ridiculous videos made you before you removed them. Also, I saw your statement. Funny how my name wasn't in there at all. Shame on you both, Joshua.
I don't blame him. Listen, I don't me personally, I don't blame him for that statement.
No.
I don't blame him. But at the same time, I'm not exactly have torches and pitchforks out for the girls either.
No.
Because when I go to that podcast, I don't look for research work. I look for tea. Tea. You know what tea is? Tea is gossip.
Gossip, yeah.
So when I go to watch their podcast, I'm looking for gossip. I'm looking for, give me the tea, sis. I'm not looking for well-researched, ooh, I got the receipts here. Excuse me, you're saying this? Well, why did you say this on this date at this time? I'm not looking for that.
Yeah, their podcast is just two friends talking shit.
Exactly.
And going over what's there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I don't have like the torches and pitchforks after them. I really don't.
No. Because it
So-
is what it is with them. Yeah.
Exactly. It
Yeah.
is what it is. But if anything, though, they did provide evidence, granted, not knowing at the time, but they provided evidence that he was a liar. So if anything, it actually served good because look what Swoop put out.
Yeah.
And a lot of that came from that podcast.
Yeah.
So, you know?
I never did. And I knew that Johnny was not a victim because Johnny has been actively stealing my stories and adding to them. And
Yep.
whenever I will ask him for proof of anything or be like, I am so sorry this happened to you, can you please tell me more? He will tell me that I shouldn't be asking him that because it's triggering. So then I will just be believing his word that his grooming that happened to him was more extreme than mine. I will ask him what happened. He'll say, I don't want to tell you about it, but it's what happened to you. But I was, it was worse to me. That's all I got.
Cosmo asked, do wish they kept it up with a disclaimer about it all being bullshit. Yeah, they could have done that.
Yeah.
And you never know. You know what? They could possibly be doing that now. They can take it down and add like text up there going, apparently these are lies, blah, 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 go to Swoop's video or whatever. But I think that episode still needs to be shown and show what kind of a lying shitbag he is.
Yeah, just for the record.
Yes, for the record. Yes, 100%. And yes, what he did to Adam was fucking bullshit.
So I have not liked Johnny for quite some time.
Good.
Now, I also side-eyed Johnny because in 2020 when my video came out, he was one of the main people attacking my video in 2020 because he was so close-knit with Colleen. And when we went on that call after he came out against Colleen, which, by the way, I obviously said it in Swift, he told me the reason he came out with his video speaking against Colleen and Corey was because he wanted to build an audience off of us promoting his video so then he could take down Josh. And I don't know if anyone ever noticed, but I never platformed his video where he talked about Josh. That was for a specific reason because we had conversations where we would on call, that one call we were talking about it, he never would provide proof for anything. When I spoke to Josh about those things, Josh would say, there's no proof because none of these things happened. And when I would ask him, he would show me things and they didn't link up with what Johnny was saying, which is why I never platformed it because I take these things seriously. I take it seriously what happened to me and I'm not going to allow someone to completely steal my story but say it's worse. And so I just didn't speak on it.
Don't blame you. Do not blame you. Good for you. Good for you for having fucking common sense. Adam has more common sense than your average 20-year-old. I swear to God.
Yeah.
I swear to God. He has more common sense than an average 20-year-old.
Well, yeah, he has been through a lot. He's grown up a lot in the situations that he's been in. So I don't doubt it. He's learnt. He knows what's going on. And he's got the score. He's got real life experience.
Yep.
Where some 20-year-olds just sort of float along underneath like the wing of their parents or whoever sort of whatever and just spewing bullshit. So I don't know.
Exactly.
I didn't speak on him. I reacted to his first Colleen and Corey video because he really wanted me to on that call. And I said that I would do it on my Twitch. I told him I would react to it. And I said that my audience would send him so much support and then I would upload it to YouTube. And he was so excited. And I extended that branch to him. Even though in 2020, all he did was make fun of my video and try to spread the narrative against my video because he was so close-knit with Colleen. Whenever he spoke up, I still was so proud of him that I told him that I was willing to platform his story. Little did I know that he was doing that so he could build an audience off of my audience, which is what he did with a bunch of other people, so then he could take down Josh with fabricated, made-up stories. And I got a lot of criticism for not dunking on Josh, and I have for a very long time. I have been told, why are you following Josh? You're enabling groomers. What happened to you with Colleen obviously wasn't that extreme. If you're willing to do this, if you're willing to befriend, Johnny's abuser. I had conversations with Josh, and Josh showed me more than Johnny ever did, even though I asked Johnny more. And, I mean, the facts were the facts.
Amazing how that works, right? You know what's funny? When Swoop asked Josh for the DMs, he sent them over right away. Right away. Didn't even question it. Was like, okay. And sent them.
Yeah.
Sent all his DM history with Johnny. when Johnny sent them, he took time to delete some of them.
Yeah,
before
he
sent them over.
fumbled and he's saying he couldn't access them and he could access them and it was
Uh-huh.
going to be difficult and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, he was fucking around.
Yep.
So
Funny how
yeah.
that works.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Josh, if we're speaking specifically on this Johnny situation, I'm sorry, didn't do anything wrong. Didn't do anything wrong. Inappropriate to give his number to a fan? Absolutely. Was Johnny's family actively trying to push Josh to befriend the family? Yes. And Johnny told me this on the phone call, that they tried so hard to get him to feel like a brother to the family. So, was Josh
Yep.
Please.
Yep. It's like, bro, really?
wrong in specific things? Yes. Was Josh a groomer? No. Was Josh an abuser? No. Was Josh a pedophile? No. A predator? No. And any story I would say about Colleen, Johnny would then come out with the same story about Josh, but it would be 100 times worse to take away from my story. So, whenever me and Johnny did that call after he posted that video, and I was like, I would love to go on the phone to speak to you because, oh my god, someone else that's, you know, validating my stories and has been through this, like, I would love to talk to you about this. We went on a call and we talked about it a lot. I opened up about different things that have had lasting impacts on me with, this is stuff I've never said. I opened up to him about things that have had a lasting impact on me. With Colleen, one of the main ones being that I don't really trust people with any relationships now, friendships, whatever. And the other thing is I have a lot of body image issues because of the fact that she would very much so promote whenever I looked skinny, and she would compliment my body whenever I was skinny.
Yep.
Johnny's response to this was, I've signed an NDA, but I'm willing to tell you things because I know it's you. Even though Johnny had hated me, apparently, up until this point, and had made fun of my 2020 video excessively.
Yeah, funny how that works, right? He saw clout. He saw clout and dollar signs.
Yep.
I'm going to censor this very, very, very much. Johnny went into detail about how after every show he would help Colleen stay skinny by helping her do something. And I won't go into detail about what that was, but he said this in a response to me saying that I've had lasting body image things because of Colleen. And he was like, oh, if only you knew, which was a really weird thing to do. And that's further, you know,
that is true, Lexi. Johnny does love breaking his NDA. He really does love breaking his NDA.
With me. So that was that moment on. We talked about the Trisha nudes, you know, Colleen sending us the Trisha nudes. And again, whenever I opened up about what had happened to me, he ended up saying that it happened to him as well. But the difference was that he said that while me and Colleen engaged in this back and forth making fun of Trisha, that actually Colleen was sending it to him unprovoked. So what happened to me was, you know, not as bad as what happened to him. He was getting them unprovoked and I was carrying on it, even though I was a child and he was a grown man doing this as well.
Yep.
So he admitted to Swip that he was also downloading the photos and making fun of Trisha as well, which is not something he ever told me, and actually pushed down my story so that his one would be the golden one, even though I was a child getting those photos from Colleen. Now, Johnny also mentions that Colleen used to send her fans nudes to him. And he references this photo where a fan had covered her body. And I know exactly what he's talking about. I know exactly the name of the girl, if it's the exact same one, because I got that one too. Now, this was a photo that was posted on Twitter by this fan in which she was covering her body, but she was naked. And it was kind of a statement post she was doing about like her body or whatever. And it wasn't an inappropriate photo, or the context of it wasn't on OnlyFans, or
it was like an artsy, it sounds like it was one of those like artsy think pieces types of photos or whatever.
Yeah.
Johnny was a one-upper. Yep.
Oh
he
yeah.
was.
It wasn't on Patreon, or it wasn't on any porn site or anything like that. It was like an expressive picture. And Colleen also sent that to me, so I know exactly what Johnny is speaking about there. But again, I would go on the record saying, yeah, that was it and that was the photo, but then Johnny has to say, oh no, Colleen would send me many fans nudes, or Colleen would send me, you know, fans nudes, and not give any details on that.
How many fan nudes was Colleen getting when most of them are children?
Fan nudes.
Yeah.
Oh. What?
Okay, I'm gonna be honest. Okay, we hate Colleen. Okay, Colleen is the enemy, and I get that. But I'm sorry, because it's coming out of Johnny's mouth, I kind of don't believe that.
Yeah.
I have a tendency of not believing that. I would have to actually see proof of that. Like, that's something that I don't know if I believe. And it's a lot of it is because it's coming out of Johnny's mouth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I totally
he's lost all credibility.
Oh, all. 100%.
Yeah.
Because it's more extreme than my story. You know what I mean? So this would happen often. This would really, really, really happen often. So I'm trying to figure out, I have some notes here written down that I just want to get to. Sorry, I'm so scatterbrained. So again, a lot of people started to notice that I started to pull away from Johnny, especially the Colleen Ballinger snark. We're like, anyone noticing that Adam's really not talking about Johnny anymore? The reason for this was because I noticed that Johnny started copying my every move on social media. Down to, if I did a tweet about Colleen, he did the same one about Josh and I later, but it was worse. You know, it was worse.
Oh my god! Of course it was.
How sick is that? How sick is that?
Ugh.
Like why? Like whatever game that Johnny is thinking that he's playing, like in his head, he thinks he's playing this game. He has to know he knows now, I mean, because of Swoop's video, but he needs to know he's not good at it at all. He's obvious.
He needs to learn not to be the main character.
Yeah.
He's not the main character.
And
it's
guess
not
what?
about him.
It's okay. You don't have to be the main character in everything. There is nothing wrong with being a side character. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with not being a character in a story at all and just sitting back and watching the story. Or supporting the people in the story. Or maybe even reporting the story.
Yeah, but the thing is, doing things like that, though, doesn't get you as many clicks and likes and follows. So obviously, you know, he's going where the bread is, and that's fucking disgusting.
Yep.
That is fucking disgusting.
Yes, it is.
That's exactly what it is.
Down to, if I would make a certain kind of YouTube video, he would emulate the same thing on Twitter.
Yes, he would.
Down to whenever I did my Hi Ukulele video, which, by the way, I wasn't the first person to do, won't be the last one to do.
Yours was the best, though. Can we admit?
Yeah, it was the cutest.
Adam's was the best one out of all of them, though. I will say. And which you know what? Righteously was amazing. Just saying.
I did it, actually, you know, like, I don't know if it was a couple days into it or whatever the timeline was, and there were already people who had done it before. But once I had did it, I had found out then that Johnny was saying to someone that he was going to make his own one because I had posted the video. So people were coming to me and telling me that Johnny was copying me and copying my every move. And now this was validated because there were people opening up to me being like, Adam, can you please be careful around Johnny because I used to befriend him in the fandom and all he does is leech off of people. So I just ignored that because obviously, you know, I don't want to go on the record against an alleged victim. Not a victim, by the way, but, you know, I
Exactly, not a victim. Thank you for saying that, Adam. Thank you.
Thank you.
I couldn't tell you all of this, so it would have looked really bad for me to do this. So I just kept my mouth.
Well, yeah, because think about it. What if he just felt that was happening, but Johnny was a victim? You know what I mean? It would have looked bad. It would have looked really, really fucking bad. That's why people weren't publicly saying any of this.
My shut, and I was going to keep my mouth shut. I was never going to speak about this. Never going to speak about this. Because then it would be me calling someone not a victim and lying, and lying about me and lying about my stories and adding on to them, versus the public who are like, okay, so now we're victim blaming. So I just kept my fucking mouth shut.
Maggot Edits, you are late. It is 11:48 p.m. and you come up in here an hour and 40 minutes late, and all you have to say is bunny and 2 hearts. Are you kidding me?
It's a pass on literally everything.
Excuse me. There are 4 of us up here. You could at least give the rest of us some hearts. You want to come up in here an hour and 48 minutes after your wife started her podcast episode, and you're just going to come up here and say her name in hearts? Man!
Yeah, you know what? I'll remember this.
What?
Y'all, Maggot does no wrong. I don't even know what y'all were talking about.
Ma'am. I am not putting up with this bullshit.
Have y'all seen her titties? Like,
no, and I'm gonna be honest with you, Bunny. I'm sure they're nice, but I don't want to know what they look like. You know, I'm happy for you, but I don't want to know.
I know what they look like enough for all of us, so it's okay.
That's all that matters then, baby. That's all that matters, okay? So anyway, back to my point. When you walk up in here an hour and 48 minutes, now an hour 49 minutes late, make sure you say hello to the rest of us, okay?
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. Now we're going back to the video. Hi, Maggot. Okay. Anyway.
So whenever Swoop did this, it allowed me a place to vent amongst anything else. So thank you so much, Swip, for allowing me to vent to you. So that was what happened. Him stealing stuff, him adding onto my stories, making them his own, copying the videos, and then turned into subtweeting. Johnny started subtweeting me often.
Bro, I would have been ready to fight. I would have been, you know what? I would have made one of my Xylie manifestos on a motherfucker. I would have had it would have been a manifesto like a mofo, okay? A man and mofo. You know why? Because that bitch would have been so long, it would have took y'all 2 days to read that motherfucker. Bro, I wish he would.
He would write snarky tweets that were about me. And the reason I know they were about me is because they would come right after I would engage with Josh, or Josh would tweet me back, or I would go on the record saying that I want to focus on Colleen rather than Josh. Then there would be a subtweet from Johnny about me. A subtweet. And this is one of the things that Swoop came to me about as well, which was about how do I feel about the fact that Johnny's been speaking so freely about me on social media, whether he's been praising me or whether he's been not. And it's something that really bothered me, but I was never going to go on the record against it. It was like I could never win. Now I have Johnny, like, speaking out against me. And then all the replies are like, yeah, Johnny, I would be annoyed if I were you as well. Like, Adam is just really unsympathetic. And I had to deal with that for fucking weeks. My camera died. So much for 1 take. 2 takes. So, I have my notes here.
Poor Adam. He tried. He tried.
Also want to talk about H3. Or actually, before that, I want to talk about the differences between me and Johnny that no one seemed to pick up on. For me, I was responding to as many journalists or as many podcasts as possible, right? But there were a lot that I wasn't doing because it is exhausting to talk about this. It is exhausting to talk about this.
I'm sure it is.
For the most part, it's embarrassing to talk about all of this stuff. Like,
I hate the fact that he's fucking embarrassed about his story.
Yeah.
I hate the fact because, I mean, yeah, granted, it's easier sitting here saying, honey, you don't have to be embarrassed. You were a kid, you know, or et cetera, et cetera. But I mean, that doesn't stop the fact that he's still embarrassed about it. I just hate the fact that he's embarrassed.
Yeah.
He was a
shouldn't feel that way.
child. He was a kid, man.
His embarrassment implies like shame, and you shouldn't be feeling ashamed of that sort of situation that happens to you as a kid.
Exactly.
That's something that like it was out of your control. It was nothing you can do. You were a child.
Yeah.
You know, like,
Exactly.
and then also like another thing I guess you could be embarrassed about is how like Johnny has been interfering with the situation as well. Like, it's an embarrassing situation, especially for like the real victims in the situation, where, you know, someone like that comes forward, hogs up all like, you know, the prime time, whatever on, you know, podcasts and stuff like that. And it turns out to be a complete and utter fucking lie. It's just like, it puts a bad taste in everyone's mouth about the whole situation, and nobody wants that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, but that also comes into play of being a victim too. Embarrassment is a huge part of being a victim.
Yeah.
You, once you get into the mindset that you're not embarrassed, to me personally, okay, I'm not going to go clinical, all right? But for me when I stopped feeling like a victim is when I stopped being embarrassed about what happened to me. Once I owned it and I was like, you know what? And this was for me personally, okay? This is how I dealt with it. I'm not saying people need to do this. This is just for me. Let me make that very fucking clear, okay? Because everybody deals with their trauma in different ways. Some people get angry.
Absolutely.
Some people get sad. Some people can just put it in the back of their mind and go on with life and be okay, all right? But for me personally, when I got to the point where I was like, yep, it happened, at least I can say I learned things from it. And I can talk about it without crying now, without really any emotion at all. I can talk about it. That's when I stopped feeling like a victim.
Yeah.
Which I know I still am a victim of domestic violence. I know I am. But I stopped feeling like one when I reached those points.
Yeah.
And it took years. It took years. It did. You know, but yeah, embarrassment, even you were a victim. And that's part of being the victim is the embarrassment where you don't need to be embarrassed. Somebody hurt you. You didn't hurt that person. You know? So.
Like, imagine rehashing things that you were involved with that are like inappropriate when you were like a child. And all of it's on social media and everyone has an opinion of it. It's not exciting in any way.
I'm sure it's not.
versus Johnny, who was going on the record tweeting at Jesse and Lily, being like, let me come on your podcast, like, you want to guest? And then when he goes on it and gets the girls to let him on the podcast, it's like, Mom, I'm on a podcast. He's tweeting. Was doing this to many people as well, trying to get on the record. Whenever his dad went on the record to one of the publications, I was a little bit hesitant about it. And he was like, why aren't your parents jumping on this? It's a hot topic. Because I don't want my parents to be involved in this.
Because your mama's classy.
Yeah.
I love Mama McIntyre. I do. I love me some Mama McIntyre. I can't help it.
I'm getting enough backlash is what it is, that I don't want them to be involved in it. They don't deserve to get the backlash for this.
Yep.
And also, above anything else, the fact that I watched Johnny on an interview with Swoop yesterday try to throw my parents under the bus yet again after I've heard him talking shit about my parents over and over again to different people. Go fuck yourself, Johnny. Your parents were the ones that were cornering Josh to befriend you. They were cornering Josh because they were hoping that he would make you famous.
Yep.
And that is what Johnny wanted in all of this.
And period, point blank, period. And but you know what? You know who grew to a platform of hundreds of thousands of subs to his channel? This guy. At 17 years old, there was when he was 17 years old in 2020, there was an active, like, I don't want to say a cabal, but there was an active situation where huge YouTubers were collectively trying to get rid of him.
Yeah, it was definitely a campaign.
Campaign, thank you. That's the word I was looking for. There was a campaign to get rid of Adam. And guess what? Adam didn't quit. You know most people would have quit.
Yeah.
Most people wouldn't have been able to handle those millions of followers coming at him day and night for 3 fucking years. But he persevered. And he grew his platform to where it is today. Sucks not to be you, Johnny. Sucks to be you, Johnny, right? Because Adam did it. Adam did it despite what was happening to him.
Yeah, his mama raised a good boy.
Yes.
That's right. That requires such a large amount of strength and courage as well. And, like, he, should be applauded for all of that.
Absolutely.
Well done,
yes.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely.
Johnny wanted fame and attention in all of this. You want to know one of the things that Johnny said to me whenever he was planning on making his video on that call? How do I make sure that my YouTube channel is monetized? This was all for fame, attention, and money.
So far, so much for just getting the message out there, right? To help others. Wow, dude. I mean, listen, I'm not saying that now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying if you're making these videos on these people that abused you, I'm not saying not to monetize it. Yes, monetize it. I don't have a problem with that. Okay?
Yeah, but that should not be your first priority.
But to the precursor of how do I make sure my channel's monetized before I make this video, like, bro, what? There's a difference there. There's a difference there.
From Johnny. And I would never be surprised if Johnny would ever go on the record against me and show... Actually, me and Johnny have had very limited interactions. We probably texted back and forth for a couple days, and then he started releasing all the text messages of Colleen bullying fans and stuff and made me feel very uncomfortable. And I was like, he was like, oh, should I not have done that? Would that make Ella feel really awkward? And I was like, oh, well, you know, it's out there now. You had to do what you had to do, I guess. Very awkward. Very awkward. He was constantly putting me in these really, really, really awkward positions because all he wanted was tweets that would do well. So,
can you imagine? Most people, I mean, hell, some people even make accounts, make a alt account just to put a tweet out there, not for it to do well, but to tell their story. Yeah. It's not about whether a tweet does well and how many people are going to see it, but sometimes people use Twitter just to get their story out there because they need some kind of outlet to do it. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, if you go back to, like, the Swoop video, for example, like, Adam did say, like, his overall aim was to build an audience and then put a video out on Josh, right?
Yes.
And then, like, there was in one of the interviews, he claims that he never wanted to make that video at first, but he was strategizing this from the beginning. His narrative has changed so many times just on that one aspect as well. True. Like, just where it starts from and what he's stemming from to put out, and it's literally all for money, clicks, follows, any type of gain, subscribers, whatever you want to call it. He just wants the fame. He wants the fame and he wants to be drowning in it. And guess what? You're drowning in something else.
Exactly.
You're drowning in bullshit.
So fuck you, Johnny. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm getting really heated, but like I have wanted to rant on this for so long. So anyway, the H3 thing. When H3 contact us to do a round table. This happened when I was at Disneyland. That is the God's honest truth. I was at Disneyland. I could not do the round table because I was at Disneyland, and I was not going to do it on Disneyland Wi-Fi or my data, and, you know, be walking around Disneyland trying to, like, retell trauma or retell stories that make me very uncomfortable. Meanwhile, like, it's a world of laughter and happy... Is that the words from It's a Small World? It's a small world. Sorry, side topic here. Like, and that in the background, right? Or like Thunder Mountain, or me on Thunder Mountain, like going like this, and like, yeah, so Colleen did, like, I wasn't going to do it.
That would be highly inappropriate, him standing in the middle of Disneyland to be in that round table.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
That would have been
There's no way
highly
you're gonna miss out.
inappropriate. And you got to think, too, he was in Disneyland over in LA. He has traveled from the UK to LA. He is literally on vacation. He already had tickets to Disney. I don't blame him. I don't blame him. The story was already out there in mass before it hit H3H3. He didn't have to go on there. And the people who gave him shit for not going on there, fuck you. It's his goddamn
Family's
story.
first.
It's his goddamn story. You can't tell him when and where he can tell his story. Fuck you. He can do it wherever the fuck he wants, whenever the fuck he wants. If he wants to shut up about it from this point on, guess what? He has that right too, because it's his fucking story.
Absolutely.
I can't stand that gatekeeping shit.
Yep.
Damn.
And H3 were immediately fine with this. They were actually very accommodating. They were like, we can, you know, move it a couple days in between, and I was like, oh, well, you know, unfortunately this trip is so double booked that, like, that doesn't work for me either. Didn't work for me, and it was because I was on this LA trip that I'd booked the year before, and they were very, very, very nice. They didn't hold it against me. I fucking love Olivia beyond words. Olivia is one of the kindest people ever in the entire world. I'm speaking so passionately right now. Olivia is...
Yeah, she's gotten so much shit wrong before.
I don't know, man. She's got a couple of doxing instances. I'm not too happy with her. Olivia kind of sucks. Hate to say it. All right, let's go.
So fucking incredible, and it has been throughout this entire thing. So when the H3 thing happened, and I let everyone know who was involved in that roundtable that I wasn't going to be doing it, the other people, Becky and Oliver, were like, oh, you know, but have a great time at Disneyland. Johnny, over the moon. And now it makes sense to me why Johnny was over the moon. Because, and I think he wrote in the group chat, like, maybe at
okay,
and
I
Becky
missed
and
it.
Oliver were like, oh, you know, but have a great time at Disneyland. Johnny, over the moon. And now it makes...
Oh, yeah, okay. Now I see what y'all... I'm sorry, I spaced out for a minute. I'm tired. I am, like, extremely tired. I am so sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, of course he was. Because you know, if Adam was there, that spotlight would have been off Johnny. He knew that he could overtalk the other two.
Yep. And that's when he's the main character again. So, that's what he wanted. Yep.
Yep.
Sense to me why Johnny was over the moon, because, and I think he wrote in the group chat, like, maybe at best.
Echo a tragedy. You are 2 hours and 3 minutes late to this stream, and you walk into this stream with a bunny and 2 hearts, and you and I don't get a heart. Are you what? I am not going to get disrespected on this channel. Echo. I don't get a heart, Xylie heart. Are you serious? After being late by 2 hours and 3 minutes? 4 minutes? You know what? I'm going to ignore you for at least 2 days now. You have disrespected me. You have disrespected me. I'm just saying. Thank you, cheerleader. Thank you, Kangaloo. You two are now my favorite.
He was like, oh, that sucks, or something like that, but have the best time. Something nice, right? I then find out that Johnny was overwhelmingly excited that I wasn't going to be in this cult.
Oh, I'm sure
because
he was.
He would be able to be the one that was in, from what I've heard from other people, so take this with a pinch of salt. Because again, Johnny, this is what you do when you hear things from other people. You say, take this with a pinch of salt, or this holds no credibility. That's what you do whenever you're telling other people's fucking stories. Sorry, I'm so heated. Was that apparently Johnny was going to be the leader of the conversation. Because apparently there needs to be a leader of the conversation. And now I'm not going to be there, so Johnny's the face of it. Because apparently there has to be a face of it, and apparently he always wanted to be that. Which is why he would always steal my stories and make them worse.
Oh my god. This Johnny dude just needs to be booted off the internet.
Yeah.
He just needs to be booted off the damn internet.
Agreed.
Thank
I'm
you,
really
J.
glad I
Rose.
didn't go on that H3 call, because I had to watch Johnny speak over the other two, Becky and Oliver, whose stories are equally as important. Becky is equally as important and valid, and Oliver especially as well is so equally important, and just like, and the fact that they were spoken over is nothing on H3, because what are they going to be like, Johnny, like, no. I would not have been able to hold myself nice in that. I'm going to be honest, because my opinions of Johnny were already so strong, and I think at a certain stage I wouldn't have been able to hide it, because Johnny knew how many people were watching him, and that was also things he was saying. How many people were watching him right now? Oh my god, this H3 thing is really... That was the golden ticket. That was the golden ticket that he says that Josh was apparently going to give it to him. He got it now.
Yeah. So I've got like that total of how much Johnny spoke. So Johnny spoke about 45 minutes for that 1 hour and 1 minute podcast, like the part they were on, right? Becky, roughly 11 minutes, and Oliver for about 3.
Wow.
He did 45 minutes.
That's ridiculous.
Wow.
I mean, it sounds like H3 hardly ever talked.
Yeah. Well, it says there it's like for the, like, it's literally for, like, you know, the first 1 to 32 minutes was just Johnny, and Becky was 32 to 36 minutes, and then Johnny was back to 36 to 38 minutes. It goes through the whole thing.
Wow.
Of what minute they are talking. Yeah.
That's so gross. Bye, Henrietta.
Yeah.
Have a good night.
Bye-bye.
He got it now. So I was actually very grateful I wasn't a part of that, and I'm always sending my love to Becky and Oliver beyond absolute words. And by the way, Johnny does not take away from Becky, does not take away from Oliver, and does not take away from me. But I think we're all very aware of that. I think the Johnny thing is a completely separate situation. And I just wish that Johnny would have let others speak. I know he wanted that mic. I know he wanted that attention. I know he wanted that spotlight. But the others are equally as important as you. And I know, Johnny, you've said time and time again that you feel that your story is more intense than mine, but our stories at best were equal. Because no one's trauma is more important than someone else's trauma. Especially when you're trying to find comfort in the person, or I'm trying to validate your stories, or make you feel heard, and platforming your fucking lies.
True. True, King.
Yeah. Adam's pissed, and rightfully so.
Yeah.
Rightfully so.
So, anyways, moving on, I want to finish it off with talking about Tim Connolly, which was a topic in the video. Tim Connolly was Johnny's friend, and he is someone that I knew from Twitter, who was in the fandom and then, you know, started singing and gained his own fans, I guess. I've always had a problem with Tim, and Tim has me blocked now, because Tim knows that I know that Tim, whenever he was a grown man, was flirting with me whenever I was a child on social media.
Oh.
So much so as well. This was whenever
Okay, so, like, for those that don't know, Tim is Tim Connolly, who is supposedly Johnny's best friend at the time. Johnny literally threw Tim Connolly under the bus in the Swoop interview, and he was telling her a whole bunch of stuff that he was up to. And then also asked other victims and people to send info on him, because he was going to make a giant
he said
mega
something
thread
on Twitter
on him.
about him, too. He talked about him on Twitter, too,
Yep, so... Apparently, there was like that, I'm not going to say his last name, Jeffrey reference, where he was like, without Maxwell, there would be no Jeffrey, and without Johnny, there would be no Tim.
Yep.
So that was the reference and like the correlation he was putting out there between those two situations. So... yeah. So we know a whole lot more about Tim right now. So I guess there's going to be more coming out too.
Probably.
Since it's pretty big. Yeah.
I was a child, but so much so that was still flirting with me and sending flirty messages up until January of this year, whenever my cat Tyler died, and I posted a video of me on my balcony holding my cat, and I'm wearing shorts, and he goes, thighs. Weird. And then I leave him on red, and he goes, oh, I'm sorry, I just read that your cat died. Because it was so often that this man would, especially in Twitter, flirt with me and do this with all of my friends that were underage at that time, by the way, as well. I do not like Tim Connolly. I don't speak about him because he's fucking irrelevant to me. Now,
I know that's right.
That's right.
What's up, Pumpkin? What do you want? God, you're such a pain in the ass today. All right, let's go.
Johnny and Tim had some sort of fallout. I'm not aware of what happened there. He didn't elaborate on it on this long call that we had, right? But what he did say to me was, you know, that Tim's not a good person, Tim's inappropriate with minors, and that he can't be trusted around minors, and he's a predator, and he's a grimmer, and all these different things, right? Whenever I tell Johnny that I have an experience with Tim in which I have screenshots of him being inappropriate with me, even as, you know, as far as recently, and all these different things that links up with the other stories, Johnny was over the moon thinking that I would send them to him so he could put them in a Twitter thread. Because everything, mainly other people's stories, if he wasn't stealing other people's stories, he was using their screenshots to get, you know, likes on Twitter. I kind of want to close the Tim Connolly thing off with confirming that Tim Connolly wasn't appropriate with me whenever I was a minor. All over, you know, social media, nothing more than that. Don't speak about him, irrelevant to me. And he's pretty irrelevant day to day. But again, Johnny did not care about the fact that I felt a type of way towards Tim until he knew that I, you know, would go on the record against it and, you know, he could use it for Twitter likes. I want to end this off by saying that Johnny watched what Cody did, the rise and the fall. How did you fuck up that badly that you emulated what Cody did, but worse?
Thank you!
Yes.
Yes.
100% true.
Oh, that's so funny.
True!
Oh.
Like,
Very
how?
funny.
How did you, how? Like,
It almost
really?
takes talent.
Dude, it really is. You know what? I think it is a talent. I mean,
Yeah.
granted, it's not a great talent. It's not even a good talent. But it is actually a talent to be able to fuck up as much as he did.
Yeah.
That's a great magic
A
trick.
That's impressive.
5-year-old can keep up with their lies better than this motherfucker.
True.
Good God.
Literally 10 times worse. Johnny means nothing to me. Means nothing to me. Genuinely nothing to me. He is dog shit to me. And the reason he doesn't mean
Hell
that to
yeah.
me is because he has been a nasty person to me for many years. From the time that that video dropped in 2020 to now, then we rewrote history a little bit, and then subtweeting after I didn't go on the record that Josh was a... Or a...
Oh.
Fuck off. Fuck off. Stealing my stories but making them more intense, lying about me, fuck off. Fuck off.
Yes.
Johnny means
Yes.
nothing to me. I wanted to make some sort of response to this, because, I mean, a lot of people were seeing me in the interview, and they were like, weren't you in Paris? Like, what the hell were you doing there? Like, me with Pink Mike. Johnny means nothing to me. I was gonna literally be like, I'm sorry, I'm so aggressive in this video. The reason for that is because this has been so built up within me for the longest time, and I haven't been able to say this online. So there's that. Johnny's blocked.
Well, good for him for saying it now.
Yep.
Good for him for saying it now.
So built up within me for the longest time, and I haven't been able to say this online. So there's that. Johnny's blocked me on social media. After I blocked him first, though. I want to end this by saying...
Adam's man said, you know, Adam mentioned Xylie in one of his videos tonight. I think the one about Cody. Oh, I don't know. I have no idea.
Yeah, I know there was a new one that was uploaded a couple of hours ago. I haven't seen that yet, but
Oh.
yeah.
Okay.
Swip, you are someone that I have only became familiar with within the last few months, and someone I wish I was aware of for much longer.
Aww.
You are fucking
Aw.
incredible. You are dedicated. You are compassionate. You are passionate as well, which is incredible, especially because you're doing this with things that are so important. And by the way, something I don't think people are talking about enough. There was a lot of people very, very, very eagerly awaiting part 3 of Swip's documentary, and we're getting more and more frustrated when Swip would push back the date of it. It would have been easier for Swip to not do part 3.
True.
I don't know
Yeah.
how much Swip or her team says online, but I'm aware of a fraction of the amount of work that they have done. It is tireless work that is purely because they care about the truth.
Mm-hmm.
The truth.
Yeah.
I would rather have Swoop wait to make sure she has the truth than putting out dog shit.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I would rather wait. It's not like a Nicholas Diorio situation where you're being told you're getting a video in a month and then 2 years later you still don't have one. It's not that kind of situation. The girl had to get the girl had to dot her I's and cross her T's. Because Johnny was full of shit. So they had to go back and research and figure out what was this dude lying about. You know? So, yeah.
Mm.
These are dedicated people who are just so beyond. And I am so grateful for Swip and her team, and I'm so thankful for Swip and her team. Putting myself aside for a second, they're showing people that there are consequences for lying about serious accusations
Yes.
and not taking serious accusations serious. And they're also showing that if you are a victim, that you are valid and your story is valid and your
Yep.
feelings are valid.
Yep.
And I just think that they are doing a world of good on YouTube, on Beyond.
I agree.
And I am so beyond thankful to know Swoop. And I am sending so much love to her. I am sending so much love to her team.
You know, one thing about Adam, when he says something like that, I honestly believe he means it.
Yeah, he's so
Yeah.
he's actually a genuine, kind person. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, he actually has.
I believe him when he says
Genuinely.
that. I really do. I don't think he's bullshitting. I don't think he's just saying it to say it. One thing about Adam, whether you like the other person or not, if Adam likes that person, he's going to tell you he likes them.
Yeah.
He's not going to change up just because of who you are, or if he knows
Yep.
that you don't like them or not. He's not going to do
Yeah.
that, and I do respect that with Adam. I do. I respect it. Not a lot of people are like that.
Yeah.
True.
Overwhelmingly overwhelmed with this right now. Like, I literally came home to Ireland to try deal with this with my family because I cannot deal with this alone. I can't anymore. I'm gonna leave it there, but Swoop, thank you again, and for everyone who's been very kind, thank you. And what I'm gonna end it on again is, if you tell the truth, you don't get called out in your lies. So
No, you don't.
maybe tell the truth.
Yes, it's that easy.
All right, I'm gonna leave it there.
It really is that easy, is it not? You know?
It's crazy.
But thank you all for your support. I really do mean it.
All right, there we go. That's the end.
Amazing. Well said, Adam. Well said.
Yeah, that was really, really good. Thank you,
Oh,
Leon.
Leon was
Thank
in
you
there.
for getting us to 100 likes. He goes, my job is done. Goodbye.
That's what we need. We need the regular Leon bully, the chat situation. Somehow.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
He gets the job done. That's right.
He's great at it.
Oh man,
Yeah.
no, that was a really good video. Swoop's video was amazing. If you
Oh,
haven't
yeah.
watched it, like if you want to watch it without commentary, I highly recommend you go watch that video.
Yeah, it's so well put together and
Mhm.
organized, especially in the tight time limit that they had.
Yeah,
It's
Mhm.
impressive how organized it is.
very organized. Very. It's so good. It's so good. Anything else you want to say about this whole situation?
No,
Fuck
not
Johnny.
really. Yeah,
Yeah,
fuck Johnny.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, fuck him.
Yeah, fuck Johnny. That 1000% yes.
Yeah. I did also notice that Colleen Bellinger did resurface at one point with like her with an alt account
Yeah.
and then got found out. Then got found out because like all of her family and like whatever started following her and then I think she deleted it again after that. Like she changed her profile like about 4 times or something.
She
what it said.
changed her profile. She had at one point her profile picture was literally the background of one of her shows, like the curtain or
Yep.
something, and they found out
Yep.
where it came from. And I was like, "Holy shit, you are a
They
dumb
match it
bitch
up.
too! Holy god!"
Oh yeah.
I
And
know,
like
for these
one of
people to be so maniacal, they're so sloppy.
Yes,
Mhm.
yes, girl. Yes, girl.
Be brave. Yeah, it was like one of her taglines was like, "I miss it all so much" and something like that. But the thing is, like now it's all just gone. Like she's deleted the whole
Yeah,
thing.
so it
or
was
changed it
obviously
again.
her.
Yeah. So as soon as she was found out and people started requesting follows and stuff like that, yeah, she was gone.
Yeah.
So,
That's crazy.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else before we get out of here? I'm about to pass out. I'm not gonna lie.
At 12:30 tonight on my Twitch, I'll be streaming Dead by Daylight. So
Hell yeah.
She's playing that
That's
bad
really
kid
cool.
game. Sorry.
And it's really funny if you get enough channel emotes on Twitch, you can throw stuff at her and she goes, "Ow, ow." So
Oh
you
my
can
God.
throw stuff at me.
Or
That
you
is
can,
true.
or you can bonk her on the head.
Yep, that's
Yep.
true.
That is
You
so
can also
cute.
torture me with TTS and make the little cat next to me talk and say things.
Yes, it's actually hilarious.
Yeah, it is really cute. Bunny, you got anything going on?
I will be starting a silly little podcast with my friend Betty soon. So,
Oh,
Ooh.
really?
yeah.
Yay!
Exciting.
Hell yeah!
Yeah, and
Oh, I
she's
can't
not
wait.
crazy, so it shouldn't go down in flames like my last podcast.
Well, honey, I mean, you had a couple of crazy people with you on your last podcast, so
I attract them for some reason. It's the clown makeup.
it's the clown makeup. It's the
gotta
clown.
be.
Listen, Bunny,
Yeah.
honestly, because you do the clown makeup, you have to be the crazier of the however many people are there. Okay,
I
you
know, and somehow I never am.
I know. That's the point. That's the point, Bunny. You need to be. So if you notice they're a little bit crazier than you need to kick them to the curb.
Yeah, if I was to try and top the last ones, like I'd be out of here.
That thing was destined to fail from the beginning anyway. Shit.
Oh hell yeah, I felt it.
Hell yeah. All right, well, good. I can't wait to see that.
Yeah, I'm excited. Keep us in the loop about that, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I will.
Yeah, sweet. Xylie, you got anything going on?
No, I already did my live stream today.
Yeah, that's right. I put it in the chat earlier, but if you want to have the commentary for Xylie's channel, she's done part 1 and part 2 of the Swoop documentary, which we just briefly went over at the start. So if you want to have a look at that with all the commentary and all that sort of jazz, go check out Xylie's channel. Like we will be going live again on Wednesday at 6 p.m. EST, a little bit earlier, and we are yet to determine what will be on there, but I'm sure it's going to be a great show as always. Thank you to all of our honorary broads. You guys are the green with the blue bees so far. Thank you so much. And for everyone that's already bought merch on our channel, really, really, thank you so much for like getting that. And we're loving seeing them. So if you bought merch or are going to buy merch, please, if you can, send us a little picture on Twitter or tag us in something with your merch, because like we want to see you all in it, and we love seeing you all in it.
Absolutely.
So I am going to pop that. Where is that? I'll pop that in the chat just so you guys can have a look at it. Copy. Sorry, one sec. There we go.
You're supposed to have those ready.
I know. Actually, I forgot that I had the docket up with all that stuff on it, and so I actually went the long way around. So
that's all right. It's all good.
Yeah, and I think that's basically it, right?
Yeah, I think so. I'm going over something easy tomorrow. I'm definitely not going to do my next Colleen Ballinger saga. I'm not going to do it tomorrow. If anything, I'm going to probably take the easy route and go over Willie Mac's new video tomorrow.
Oh yeah, that'll be good.
Yes, Matt Pitt, we are still going. We're about to get off Matt Pitt, and yes, we are paying attention to the chat, Matt Pitt.
Yeah, I saw you get muted, Matt.
Yeah,
we just
Matt just timed out Maggot.
Yeah, we just don't pay attention to small window people. Sorry.
Wait, he typed.
Oh, I thought I read it the other way around. Dadgummit, Matt, you son of a bitch.
Oh.
I thought Maggot timed him out. No, I don't like this now.
Okay, well that's it. Go ahead, Matt. See if you're gonna time out Maggot again. Go ahead, type something, Matt.
Time out my wife.
Yeah.
Type something out, Matt. Type something out.
Bet you it slipped, right? Did it slip?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh wow! What happened to your wrench there, Matt? Huh? Hey Matt. We can talk about it on the 23rd when your week suspension is up from my Discord. Okay, we'll talk. We'll talk about it on the. We'll talk to you in 2 days, Matt. Okay.
Yeah, eat shit, Matt.
Yeah, eat shit, Matt.
Ooh, damn.
Ooh, Skip said Matt on some T channel shit. Get him, Skip. Not if I take your shit away. Which I guess I will. All right. Well, anything else, ladies, before we get out of here? Because I am about to deafen.
No, I think that's it. Thanks, everyone, for coming.
Yeah,
Except
thank you.
Yeah, fuck you, Matt.
Yeah.
No, I'm joking.
Say goodbye. Say goodbye, chat.
Bye-bye.
Bye, chat.
Oh my God. Okay, I'm muted. We're about to do the song. Guys, make sure to check us out at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Wednesday. I'll be going live sometime tomorrow with Willie Mac's video. And y'all have a great night. Oh, and by the way, don't stop getting bullied by Matt. He's not worth it. He only has one leg. He can't chase after you. Bye.
Watch me.
I'ma get it how I wanna get it, you don't get it. I can do anything, I don't got a limit. I'ma make my mind up, I'm committed. It might take some time, might take a minute. I won't give up, I don't give in a shit. I do what I want when I wanna do it. Call it a power or call it a gift. I call it persistence or driving some wit. I ain't no minute man. Good things take time when I'm in it, man. Give me some time and I'm with a fam. Now I'm gone too far from the beginning, man. I can teach you, but you gotta listen. I got lessons on lessons to give them. Think the masters are open and wishing and thinking and driven and cutting the ribbons. And they know they don't want it more than me. I work hard, they call it a disease. I work hard so I can go be free. But I don't work for anyone but me. But it didn't start like that. I was 9 to 5, didn't feel right. Had to get in touch with myself, get my mind back, to figure out what I want in this life bad. And I don't regret it, failed a lot, but I learned my lessons. Got new moves, new things, new weapons, and now I finally got direction. We ain't got no time to be complacent. You only got one life to go make a statement. Everything you want, it'll all be waiting. So put your mind to it and you can become greatness. So don't quit, don't stop, push through it. You got dreams, one life, go do it. Make moves, improve, keep doing. A new life, new you can choose it.
Watch me.
Gotta really wanna catch hands, no face off. Everybody know I got plans to take off. Everybody know I got bands, no J's on. I'ma do life like me, no days off. I don't really care what you think about me. Hate for the minds up like a disease. Filling me with fight, some life energy. Knowing that I'm doing something right if you hating. I just try to keep my mind real vacant. I took all my time in the basement. I spent half my life impatient. It was worth all the time and patience. Get it? The way I said it. Never mind, I don't have time, forget it. You can read all my rhymes on Reddit. They need a feed and damn it, I fed it. I got my eyes on the prize. I tell truth on here, no lies. I don't take, I give and guide. I don't break, I live and fight. On the chase, I got the sight. Vision goals, I set them right. Working through the lonely nights. Worth it on the other side. If you try to make it fast, it won't last. Take a stab, make it bad. Face the fast, but still lag. Don't give up, don't look back. You got this, no stopping, no quitting, no stalling, no options. You're running, follow your dreams and find your calling. We ain't got no time to be complacent. You only got one life to go make a statement. Everything you want, it'll all be waiting. So put your mind to it and you can become greatness. So don't quit, don't stop, push through it. You got dreams, one life, go do it. Make moves, improve, keep doing. A new life, new you can choose it.
Watch me.